The views shared on this podcast are personal opinions for conversation and insight only. Guest perspectives are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Kalaj Dame or this podcast. Nothing discussed here should be taken as legal, financial, medical, or professional advice. Always do your own research and make decisions based on your individual situation. This podcast is about bridging the gap across diverse topics. Even when things don't seem connected, there's always something, there's always some way to connect these. My purpose, my intent is to bring you conversations, stories, and experiences from my guests so that we can all learn and have something to take away from it. And we can grow together as play cousins.
They took me around the corner and they said, listen, man, we caught these guys with duct tape and a gun loaded with cop killer bullets. And we believe that they were coming to break into the place to come to rob you.
You're like the main name that they drop where they're like, yo, I learned this from JPad. JPad taught me. And that's when it really struck me like I need to rush and hurry up and get bro on here.
So when I got down here, I said, man, how can I build a business for myself without stepping on nobody's toes? I got it. I'm going to go back and try that mobile studio business.
We now know that JPad, the producer, we now know JPad, also the rapper.
Right.
At what point in time did you become the custom beat king?
We just shine a light where they hide the grave. It's the Kalaj Dame podcast.
Mr. JPad, look.
What up?
Bro, okay. I suck at giving intros. Like mid intro, it usually just starts in the conversation and I don't even get to get it out. But
Right.
I can't just jump into a conversation with at least attempting
to do an intro
you to the audience, right?
No problem.
So my audience, there's a decent amount of Pittsburgh people, but also a lot of people outside of Pittsburgh. And I know that you're known outside of Pittsburgh too.
Oh, yeah.
But just in case they don't know who you are,
Sure.
Man. So I'm going to just go based on my knowledge.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
JPad is, from the beginning, from my knowledge, one of the elite music producers that kind of like stamped your own name in the mud amongst the Pittsburgh hip-hop community, but at the same time carved your own lane, built your own brand, made your own venture to where Pittsburgh hip-hop didn't limit you.
No.
And you've turned yourself into, I don't even know how to describe it other than elite in terms of production. But it's not just your music that you create. It's also on the business side and how you conduct it and stuff like that. And you've somehow found a way to navigate in other stages and other forms of business where you've created your own lane in mostly, definitely what I want to get into more is helping people, giving back, and teaching wherever you possibly can, giving freely.
Man.
So I've had a few guests on here that you're like the main name that they drop where they're like, yo, I learned this from JPad. JPad taught me. And that's when it really struck me like I need to rush and hurry up and get bro on here. So like, I already knew, like in my experience, and that's not like the end of your intro. That's more like the basis for what we'll talk about right now.
Right.
But there's so much more to that, right? That I feel like it's a lot that I can't even wrap my head around right now.
Man. But how long was Malcolm X? We needed probably about an hour or two more, bro, to tell my whole story, man. It's a lot.
A lot, right?
It's a lot.
So the intro, when my first introduction to you specifically, the first time I ever heard of a beat battle, Womp, it was you against Cynic Lethal. And it was the video that kind of went Pittsburgh viral. The round where y'all sampled 80s cartoons.
Oh, yes, the cartoons.
And Cynic Lethal did Transformers.
He did.
And you did Thundercats.
I did Thundercats. Correct.
Thundercats.
Yeah.
So that was an eye-opener to me, and I believe the rest of the city, because a lot of us were like, who is JPEG? And why is he in the final round with Cynic Lethal?
Yeah.
And
shout out Cynic Lethal.
It was like, yo, this dude is kind of ill. You didn't win that, but...
I did not.
But that didn't deter you.
No,
like, you still kept running.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, you and I were in the same competition. I want to say I-Standard.
An I-Standard competition.
On the South Side.
Yes.
And you won that, right?
I remember. No, I was a finalist, though.
You're a finalist.
I was.
So that was one I lost in the first round of judging or whatever.
It was funny because, you lost in the first round because...
I'm pretty sure.
You know what, man? It was really interesting because if you remember the judges, it was, the night that we were on, I believe. We were on the same night, if I'm not mistaken, right? All right, so the night that we were on, it was Buck Wild was one of the judges. Rock Wilder was one of the other judges.
And Nisha Beats.
And it was not Nisha Beats, our night. Well, the night I wasn't there. Nisha Beats or somebody could not make it, so it was Aliquiva.
No, I might not be thinking of the same one. I'm pretty sure you were there, but I know for a fact Nisha Beats was there.
Nisha Beats, and it's probably, which venue was it?
I can't remember.
Because there was they had a couple of them on the south
upstairs,
side.
And there was like a bar behind the stage and a bar in front of the stage.
Yeah, that was District 3, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, District 3, and then they had another one at another venue there that was like, I think it's the one that had the pool on the top of the building or whatever. It used to be called something else.
Okay.
But I remember they had one of the I-Standards, if I'm not mistaken, one of the I-Standards there as well.
The
one I did was at District 3 though, and the night that I was there, they did switch the judges because I remember coming back the next night, it was a different judge. It wasn't Aliquiva, it was somebody else.
So I don't think Aliquiva was there. I know Nisha Beats was there. Okay. I was upset that he was there.
Oh, okay.
Mostly because I trained him.
Wow.
Like, I'm the guy that
you're the sensei, and the teacher and the student teacher. I got
exactly.
You.
So he came to me as basically a piano player. That was like getting in the beats, kind of like playing around Hosanna House type stuff.
Okay. And
I helped him to round his sound off, production-wise. We started a record label together. We had artists.
Wow, man.
Who's some of our artists? Villanueva.
Villanueva, I remember him.
Focus. He was one of our artists. Whole bunch of other people.
Yeah.
Too. But yeah, so
I mean, you had a label, so I can only but imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be judged by somebody that I helped, you know what I mean, was kind of like, first of all, you charge me for this. Then I have to sell tickets to make my own money. Like, that's weird. Considering what I've accomplished, everything that I did, and now you're judging me by someone that I taught. And then I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'll do it. And every last single judge, my beats were way better than the person I went up against.
Sure.
But every last single judge told me, your beats sound too quantized.
Oh, too perfect.
And I'm like, I get it, but
they wanted to hear that loose J Dilla feel, man.
Right. But I'm like, for every judge, that's the only thing that every judge has to say.
Every judge?
Every judge.
That's ironic.
I'm like,
well, I wasn't gonna say ironic, but that's not the right word. That's something.
And it was like, okay, if that's true or whatever, you know, it's cool, but I shouldn't have been up there anyways. And maybe it was a bit of my ego or whatever, but it was like, the whole feel of it and everything just felt like a money grab. It felt like, and nothing to Premise. Premise is my dude. I know he was in on that and everything. And I explained this to him. Because he came back with the next one.
I felt that way too, though. I felt like it was kind of like a money grab when I was in it. I do appreciate the experience.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the experience, and just by producers that are legendary like Rock Wilder and like Buck Wild giving me 10 out of 10 and saying all your beats need is hot artists. That's all they said. That's all you need. Yeah. Queeve, he kind of his score was the lowest one out of all of theirs, and he kind of told me something. He's like, "Stay focused," and I was like, "Okay, I got you." So I didn't win that competition, but I appreciated the experience, and it did make me want to actually even work even harder on things. And
I feel like that was the second day.
It might have been.
So the first day...
I might have been the second day. I don't know for sure.
No, I feel like you were both.
I was, yeah.
And then I came back the second day just to see the rest of it, and I remember you winning, Okay.
I got past that day, and then the final, though, I didn't make it there. But it's all to the good. The iStandard thing was cool. It was all of it's great experience, all of it. All of it.
Okay. So you're from Erie originally. What brought you to Pittsburgh?
Okay. Really, it's an interesting thing. I am from Erie, Pennsylvania. I was born and raised there. Went to school there. Graduated high school. All of that. My mom is originally from Belt-Suver.
Okay.
She's from Belt-Suver. So she moved to Erie when she was a young girl. I think her mom and them moved to Erie when she was like maybe 10. She ended up graduating high school up there. She met my dad, which my dad, a whole nother story, like my dad he's from the South. He was from the South. And so, he came up here because he was part of the, at the time, he was part of the Mets organization. The Mets organization. He was early...
Baseball.
Early 60s, yeah. Early 60s, I think the Mets were a brand new franchise. You know what I'm saying? Because
he was a player or like...
Yeah. He actually was a player. Okay. He was a player in the system. So one of the affiliates of the Mets was Erie at the time.
Okay.
So that's how he got to Erie. He met my mom. And I think he retired in the early 60s. I didn't come around till early 70s. So he had already been retired from baseball. Okay. Yeah, from baseball. So that was that. But the tie to Pittsburgh is I ended up, my son was born in Erie in 99. At the time, I was working in television, as I was mentioning. I was working for the NBC station up there. I just felt like it was time for me to kind of leave Erie because there was too many dynamics at that time that were hitting me on a negative. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do the right thing, full-time, benefits, but my son ended up having cancer. You know what I'm saying? He was 7 months old and he was diagnosed with a rare form of eye cancer called retinoblastoma. In order to save his life, they had to take that eye out. So he had a long recovery, and he had a long, process and things of that nature. So that was all going on at that time. I'm a new dad. My first child's having issues. I'm not getting along with my BM at that time. There's a lot of dynamics that are going on, and I'm still trying to hold down this job in television. So it kind of got overwhelming. I ended up, because things got so bad between me and my BM, I had to end up leaving them, or leaving the household per se, which was partially my fault because I used to let my anger get the best of me when situations was the way that they were. And so I ended up leaving out, and I thought about it, and it seemed like the door was closing in Erie real fast.
Right.
And this was 99 going into 2000, and then I said, you know what, that winter, I said, I had enough. I need a new start. So come January that year, I moved down here. My mom and my stepdad took me in, and I worked at the Hosanna House. That was my first job in Pittsburgh. Okay. I worked at the Hosanna House for 6 months, signing people in at the front desk. In the meanwhile, I was just putting resumes in. And that's when I got to Channel 11. But that's how I got to Pittsburgh, though, for real. I got here in 2000.
Okay. All Early 2000s. So from there, like you came to work for WPXI.
I did not actually come initially to work for WPXI. I didn't know who I was going to work for. I was just looking for a brand new start altogether,
Right. Okay.
with the hopes that I could probably get into one of the TV stations because I was already familiar with how TV worked. And so by me getting my experience at the first TV station, I knew it wouldn't be nothing to get back into it. So, thankfully, that I was there, I think at the Hosanna House for like maybe 6 months. 6 months transpired. Got the call from WPXI. They said, hey, we want to hire you. I was like, oh, wow, that's great. So I ended up, getting on my own, getting my first place here, working in television, which is interesting to even bring it up because that was an interesting chapter of life, working at a TV station, because people think it's so spectacular. They're like, oh, man, you got such a great job. You know what I'm saying? You're working in TV. You get to work with the reporters and this, that, and the third. But what they don't understand is when you are black, especially a black male, in that business, and you're on the side that I was on, which is the technical side. I wasn't really in the talent side. I was on the technical side. There really wasn't too many of us. I think at that time, it was just me and one other gentleman named Tony Phelan. I don't know if you may know Tony, but big shout out to Tony. You know what I'm saying? He was one of the other guys that was a cameraman at that time that was people of color. And I think now, even to this day, my boy Mo Jetter, he still works at Channel 11. So big shout out to Mo. Those are guys I came up with in TV, and I learned a lot from them. But make a long story short, TV ain't all it's cracked up to be, man. Especially the way they were rovering me around. I was seeing people.
Hold on one second.
Okay. Yep.
Just take a pause right there.
Sure.
People were, would you say rovering you around? You were seeing people?
Oh, yeah. Well,
But just before that.
Oh, yeah. Well, at the TV station, I just started realizing that there was a low ceiling, especially for a person like myself. It was like no vacation. You're part-time, no vacation, no benefits. They can move you around on the schedule wherever. Wherever they wanted to
just
move
because you're black, or like the position?
I don't think it was because I was black per se, but then again, at the same time, certain dynamics and the way the totem pole was working at that time, I wouldn't say that it wasn't either.
We're talking early 2000s, right?
Yeah, it was like the early 2000s. There wasn't too many people doing it, at that time. And there's a lot of dynamics in TV at that time. But yeah, it just felt like a low ceiling. And as the time progressed, I lasted there 4 years. I lasted there 4 years. And by my fourth year, I realized that it was kind of like some folks in there kind of had it out for me a little bit. I felt that energy. And me being a Pisces, I feel a lot of energies, man. Like, listen, if something's going on and it's weird, I'm a recognize it immediately. So I recognized it at that TV station. And I said, you know what, it's about time that I make a decision on whether I'm going to continue doing this or not. And I decided not to do it anymore. And put my 2 weeks in before they had a chance to fire me. I put my 2 weeks in, and then I was like, well, dang, what am I going to do now? So at that time, it was around 2004. I ended up going back up to Erie for a minute because the guys up there was like, look, man, we want you to come back up here. We want you to work with the record label. I was working with a label prior to moving to Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? And they were called GPG, or Gunplay Records. So I came back up to work with them. I ended up getting, long story short, I ended up getting stuck in Erie for like 2 years. I call it stuck because I was not really planning on staying there in the capacity that I ended up staying there for as long as I did. And ended up getting to be, I would say at that point in time, that probably was the lowest. Might have been one of my lowest points in life. It might have been because of the fact that I didn't really have stable income. I didn't have, at that time, I mean, people were still getting paid ridiculous, wages, even in 2004. I think I was working, I ended up having to work a landscape. I had to stop doing the music up there. I had to work a landscaping job. I think I was making like six something an hour, $6.75 an hour or something like that, man. Doing
In the
landscaping.
2000s?
Yeah. Yes.
Wait.
Yes, bro. Yes.
I'm trying to think. How much was I making? When did minimum wage go up to $7.15 or $7.35?
Can't remember. I really can't. Because then the next job I had after that was in TV. You know, well, it was no. It wasn't in TV. What was the next job I had? Oh, it was no job after that. That was it for me. I think I kind of like said, you know what, working for other people. No, I had enough of that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was one of the nails in the coffin when it came to that. So I ended up coming back to Pittsburgh after a couple of years of staying up there. And that's when I started thinking about things about what I could do to use this musical talent that I have without stepping on anybody's toes. Because at the time when I got back, it was 2004. Most of the studios that were really, really popular here had a roster of people that they were already, were occupying spaces up in there. Right. There was really no room for me up in there. So I said, how can I really, how can I create a business for myself out here without stepping on anybody's toes? I got it. I was experimenting with it in Erie before I left. I started going around to people's houses. I had a laptop. I had, at that time, I had a USB microphone. And of course, at that time, those were kind of like not novelties, but they were kind of like early in the game on like, oh, okay, you can actually just use a microphone, plug it into your computer, and then now it's a condenser mic. Yeah. So I had one. It was probably cheesy brand. I can't remember, CAD or something like that. We'd go around, and I was starting to set people up and do studio sessions in their house instead of them going to a facility. So when I got down here, I said, man, how can I build a business for myself without stepping on nobody's toes? I got it. I'm going to go back and try that mobile studio business. So I went to Kinko's or whatever it was at that time. I printed up like 400 flyers, generic flyers. At that time, it was called, I think I had a name for it. It was called Traveling Bear. Yeah, the Traveling Bear Studio. So the Traveling Bear was the only studio that comes to you. That was my slogan. And so I just sat downtown one day, man, and I just passed out a ton, and I mean a ton of flyers. Just passed out a ton of flyers. And eventually I started getting phone calls. And at that time, I really didn't have a car when I got back down here. My car blew up on the way back down here. So I didn't have no car. I'm catching the bus. So I said, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take, at the time I had some bookshelf monitors, a laptop. I had just invested in that Pro Tools USB microphone, whatever they had at the time. It was like, but it was really is different. It was a USB microphone that ran like a very generic version of Pro Tools. It was like a stripped down version of Pro Tools, but it came with it. So I bought that. I bought a Dre Beats laptop. You know what I'm saying? At the time, it was an HP laptop. And then I had, I had that microphone. I had a stand. And I put all this stuff in like 3 bags, man, and I would catch the bus around here when people started calling me. And eventually, it started picking up because people were like, oh, man, dude was actually, thorough. He made beats on the spot. He recorded, he mixed us, and it sounded good by the time he left. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time when I was coming through, if I was on the bus or whatever, I'd probably be at the people's house for like a couple of hours. But at that time, I was already into a workflow with, oh, you need a beat? I can make one in 20 minutes. You need to record? Oh, I can get your recording laid down in like 45. You know what I'm saying? A couple hours later, song be done and I'll be gone.
So I got a couple questions for you. First, what was the business plan in that like your I don't know, the monetary strategy? Was it just like, hey, you pay me a certain amount of money and I'll come over and record you? Was it like hourly, or how did that work?
No. I actually, I believed in the flat rate philosophy the whole time. Okay. I was just a flat rate guy. I said, you know what? I know they're charging by the hour at the studio. I said, but if I can charge you one price and do all these little tasks within that one price and get it done in a timely fashion, it works for me.
So what was the difficulty with that?
The difficulty is with the short arm and deep pockets times, when people had short arms and deep pockets, where it's like they had it, they just didn't want to spend it. Those were the tough parts. The early going, moving around on the bus, that wasn't easy. It definitely wasn't easy. I had 3 bags on me. I always had to keep keep your head on a swivel in case somebody's looking at you like, what are you doing with all these bags? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And this, that, and the third. But I think most people got it when they seen that I had the mic stand in my hand. I was carrying it around. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, those were some of the difficult things, negotiating these prices with people, because sometimes you would tell them how much it is, you would get there, and then they'd be like, oh, well, I only got... So bro, it was a handshake, hug, dap thing, and I learned from that. I learned from it.
So I know, from my understanding, you started your studio after that, like your home personal studio, or professional, like selling out time. So I ran my studio for a while. Matter of fact, I showed you the cover name thing that was in my studio.
Yes.
The main reason why mine closed is a version of what you just said, where people would come into my studio with YouTube beats. So I used to do this deal that was like 2 hours for $20.
Yeah.
And the idea was, if you come in and get 2 hours for $20 minimum,
right, then
I'm expecting to have your business. I'm expecting you as a client. You can get 4 hours at $20 an hour, which, that was what?
80 for the 4?
The first 2 was 20, and then the second 2 was 40, so 60.
Oh, okay.
I think I said that right. Either way, the point is, I would sell it cheaper if you
would cover the first 2 hours and 20, and then
like $10 an hour for the first.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So the whole idea was, I want to sell you beats or lease you beats. I want you to be a return customer. I want to make money off of it. People would show up with YouTube beats and try to record for 1 hour. And they would just come in and, lay their verse and then leave. And I'm like, this is a waste of time, because you're going to want a copy of it. You're going to have questions about how it's mixed, and you want it to sound this way. That 1 hour is not going to cover everything.
It doesn't cover all of that.
And I'm like, this is just a waste of time. Expense-wise and what I'm paying, electric bill and all that, can't do it. And the idea of just dudes who just want to rap, they come over and they're bringing 4 or 6 other dudes with them. They want to smoke, they want to drink, and nothing against street dudes. A perspective, like a portion of me is a street dude, so I get it, I understand. But when it's time to be professional, you got to let go of that immature.
Got to know how to turn the head around.
And I didn't like that that demographic, you'll say, that I was dealing with.
Yeah, and it's tough. I
didn't know how to pivot, and it was like, you know what, I'm out.
You know what, bro? Doing the mobile studio thing and going into these different environments in these different neighborhoods, that was one of the toughest things, in addition to what I said was tough. But one of the other toughest things was, I would come to studio sessions and you almost had to expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
Because you never know what's going on. You know, cats was doing activities that you probably shouldn't have been doing. Yeah. And I'm setting the studio up while you're doing this. And now I'm saying, all right, my freedom's at risk. I'm only charging these guys $45, per song. Yeah. I'm only charging you $45 a song. Like, is this really worth that? You know what I mean? And I had to really start doing some soul searching after that. But that was one of the tough things right there. It was like, yo, you're showing up to do a service for people, and they're still out there with the street vibe and this, that, and the third. And like I said, I respect the people in the street, and I think they respect me a lot too, because I did take that chance and take that step out on faith. And while they were doing some of that dirt, I'm sitting there recording them. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, maybe it's passing their time and this, that, and the third, but nonetheless, You know, it's not like I didn't have to check a few people, man. I did. When there were certain things going on that was way past the boundary, I would be like, I pull them to the side and be like, man, what are we doing here, man?
I remember that time I came to your studio on the South Side. I feel like I remember you got robbed shortly after that.
Oh, man. Now, that is a wild story right there. That's another example of, like, you know, just being close to things going on in the street and things of that nature, and the timing of what happened that particular incident. I was about maybe, I want to say 6 months into that studio. It's about 6 months into being there. You know what I'm saying? Like about 6 months. About 6 months, I'm going to say. It was over the summer of that year. I want to say it was 2012. I want to say it was about 2012 or 2013. I was just chilling outside in my car, and I ended up, falling asleep a little bit in the car. I get up when I see that there's these two big husky dudes that I swore that they was bouncers because it was dressed like they was bouncers. You know, normally when people bounce, they was like dressed in all black, you know what I'm saying, black shirt, black pants, and some gloves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, all right, I didn't think nothing of it. And then a guy that was like a sometimes client of mine, you know what I'm saying, he saw me, and he was like, "Oh, hey, what's up, Pat? This, that, and the third." And come to find out in hindsight, he had something to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Something to do with the situation. What's going on? What's going on, Pat? Can I get a show mix? Now, mind you, I'm like getting up. It's like 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, show mix at 2 in the morning. I'm like, all right. So I took him upstairs, but I left the door open. I left the door because I was just like, man, it's kind of weird, you know what I'm saying, seeing you like this, your arms broke, blah, 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 blah. I ain't seen you in a minute, and you're asking for this random request for your music. And fortunately, I had it. So I got him up there, start putting together his little show mix. Next thing I know about, man, we couldn't have been up there maybe 6-7 minutes, man. The police come up the steps. Because people don't know, the studio that I had is upstairs from Mike and Tony's, but the only way that you could get into the studio or get to my space in there was you had to come up the back steps.
Yeah.
You had to come up the back steps, right? So they come up, they're shining the light in the door, and they're like, you're like, no, what's going on here? I'm like, hey, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? He was like, do any of you live here? I said, I stay here. Fortunately, bro, I had some of my mail from my other address on the table in there, or they would have thought that I might have had something to do with what was going on up in there.
Wow.
What really happened was, in the front there, those two guys that I mentioned that I saw when I first woke up after taking my nap, they was the dudes that was pulling a robbery in the front of the building. They kicked in the front door on Carson Street. Stupid, if you ask me. I'm like, it don't matter. At that time, Carson Street was still booming.
They were trying to get to you?
No, that's the whole thing. They was not even trying to get to me. But by the news making it seem like they was trying to get to me, it ruined 75% of the business that I was generating down there, because it was a melting pot that was starting to happen there. Because at that time, the South Side, as you know, it was still a nice little nightlife entertainment.
Yeah.
Hip hop was still pretty, we had some places to deal with down there.
Yeah.
And so, you know what I'm saying? When that happened, that kind of messed it all up. But what happened really was, all right, dude upstairs that was with me, he was supposed to kind of like be a lookout. He ended up using my phone and everything to call these dudes too, man, while he's sitting upstairs. This was right before the police walked in. So he asked me, hey, my ride, I need to call him and see if they can come pick me up. I'm like, all right, cool. Here, you use my phone, because he was real cool. He was real clever with it. He didn't want me to know what was really going on.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't matter anyway, because police were onto it, because somebody saw the dudes kicking the door in on East Carson and they were actually coming to rob a dude that used to live in that apartment that you had to go through that front.
Okay.
That apartment, I don't even think that apartment exists anymore. Like, they sealed that door after that incident. But they broke into the apartment. Obviously, this kid must have knew that they were coming for him, because he had moved out a week before they kicked the door in, which was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, so my story check out. They got a call up front like, oh, we apprehended the perpetrators. Boom, 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 boom. It was all right, y'all enjoy your evening. I closed the door and I lock it. I said, man, that was weird. But I'm looking at Buddy and I'm like, I notice his energy because his energy's off now. Yeah. Now his energy way off. And I'm like, okay, man, something's not right. I'm like, brother, you need a ride home? Yeah, Pat, yeah. I said, all right, well, let me get you a ride home. Come back downstairs. The police come right towards me. They're like, hey, man, can we talk to you for a second? Sure, why? What's up? Said, the guys we just apprehended were saying that they were coming for studio time. And I was like, oh, yeah? I said, really? He was like, yeah, could you come take a look and see if you know these guys? I said, yeah, wait right here to the dude. I said, wait right here. And of course, he didn't. But they took me around the corner and they said, listen, man, we caught these guys with duct tape and a gun loaded with cop killer bullets. And we believe that they were coming to break into the place to come to rob you. What the police didn't know, though, was the way that the building was set up, there is no way to get to my space unless you go to the back.
Right.
They didn't go to the back. They were trying to come up in the front. So I found this all out in hindsight when I found out all the whole story that they were actually coming to rob this dude in the front.
Yeah, I was going to say, because from what I remember back then, I think I called you like, yo, is you all right, bro?
Yes. And I remember that.
I'm pretty sure you said like, yeah, I'm all right. They didn't get nothing. Like,
no.
You gave me the impression that you thought they were trying to rob you.
Yeah, because at the time I wasn't sure because I didn't really talk to nobody until maybe 2 weeks after that happened to get confirmation that it wasn't something that was aimed at me. Yeah. So at first I wasn't sure. When they did the interview with me on the television station, I wasn't sure then. But 2 weeks later, once I found out, boy, you could have fried an egg on the top of my head when I found out what was going on with that. I just had to tell everybody, man, stay away from me, blah, 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 blah. It's already messed up now because people are scared to come down there because for the last 2 weeks, it only took 2 weeks. Yeah. It only took 2 weeks for everybody to go away. Yeah. And it was just messed up. It was just messed up after that.
That is crazy. Mm-hmm. That is amazing. And what that could do, like, to destroy the brand, especially, like, being down on Carson Street.
And you think about it, I even thought about it like this, like, man, I did all this work doing mobile studio work. I did all this mobile studio work, right? To put myself in a position to have myself a space. Yeah. I mean, Cynic Lethal's right down the street from me. Yeah. Oyo Ellis is right up the street from me. You know what I'm saying? All these people around. Ivory was around, and all these people were around. And it's like...
Wasn't James Webb around there?
Yeah, Webb was down the street from me. Yeah. We had a nice little community down there, man. And it's like, I worked hard to get there. That's the way I felt. And I felt slighted because I was like, man, people don't understand all the stuff, like the freedom, putting my freedom at risk. All the miles I done put on my car just driving around the city. Yeah. And that mobile studio started getting so popular, bro, that people were referring me to jobs out of town. I had made it as far as South Beach, made it as far as Maine.
Wow.
Yeah, I was all up and down the East Coast, man, doing studio work. You know what I'm saying? One visit here, but I was moving around. Yeah. I was moving around, man, and it was working. It was working. And it was a lot of work. And a lot of people don't understand that because it's like, man, to be able to, not only that, to be able to feed the demand of a certain demographic of here, of being here, just being here, and moving around like that, driving around, you're in Northview Heights, you're on Chauncey, this, that, and the third. I mean, I remember Task Force jumped out on me down there, all kind of wild stuff. That could have happened, that didn't happen, but there's stuff that did happen. I was just like, man, I got to really evaluate this stuff. So I worked hard to get down there to East Carson, and I got to give Isaac a shout out from Faded. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Big shout out to Isaac.
Shout out to Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac. Yeah. Rastafari Isaac. That's my man. That's bro. You know what I'm saying? And the Click Vodka people, and they were the ones that actually.
Frank, Frank. Holla at me, bro.
See, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they had they had the spot. Yeah. They had the little spot. And he was looking for somebody to build a studio up in there. And they called me, they said, man, Pad, this might be a nice little plug for you, man. Going down to East Carson, go see this dude. I think he might have a studio space for you down there. It turned out to be not just a little studio space, but a little apartment. Man, it got to the point where, man, I was chilling in there, man. I built the studio. I got so comfortable in there, and he recognized that. He was just like, man, look, I don't even see anything I can do in here, man. You got it. You know what I'm saying? So I was basically staying in that apartment on Isaac's name, but, you know, that's why I said big shout out to Isaac because, you know, I probably wouldn't have had this. I would have never been there. Right. I would have never been there if it wasn't for Isaac, so big shout out to him.
Wow, that's huge. Okay, so from there, like working with local artists and stuff.
Yeah.
One thing that I will say that's consistent. Actually, there's a few things. One big thing that I want to speak about with you. You are, I won't say one of the few, but definitely one of the top names that I hear women, like female artists, support.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I love JPEG, which I won't say any names.
Sure.
But in general, not even like I heard specific names, but in general, women always come to me complaining, like, yo, I can't find a decent producer. All these dudes trying to hit, they trying to get on me, they trying to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I've never, not once, heard anything remotely like that, like in reference to you, but the complete opposite of, no, JPEG is that dude. Matter of fact, to the extent, I think I've heard more praises about you from women than men.
Wow. Hey, you know what, man? I say thank y'all. I appreciate it. I really prided myself on being a non-biased, you know, person when it comes to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they deserve the amount of opportunity, the same amount of opportunity as everybody else.
What I want to know is,
I never really looked at it like the women, you know, deserve less. I always felt like they deserve more because they have it tougher in the business. And so, you know, I was kind of championing myself for trying to look out for them. And I ain't gonna lie, man, it's not easy. Like, man, some of these girls, look, some of y'all fine. You know what I'm saying? Y'all fine in this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy, but I had to learn how to be a professional first because you're coming here to do studio work. You know what I'm saying? Let's work.
Bro, look, in 100,000% transparency,
yes,
there are some women that haven't approached me like to work or anything like that, but in my mind, I told myself I would never work in the studio alone with her. Because I know myself, and I don't want to be in that position.
Yeah, man, it's not easy.
This is for the audience. Don't go crazy on me. This is 15, 20 years ago. But, like, back then, I told myself I would never put myself in that situation.
Right.
Just knowing how artists are, you know, want to smoke, want to drink, it's not happening.
And it's not easy because, man, these girls be coming to the studio looking good, man.
Yeah.
They do. They come looking good, man. Big shout out to y'all for that because y'all be keeping yourselves together when it comes to the studio. Y'all come to the studio looking right. And so, yes, it is a test, but I also am thankful and grateful that, you know, people seen a value in what it is that I brought to the table with the music thing and whatever it was that we needed to do.
What I want to know is every producer that I know of has this, maybe they don't have it now, but at some point in their career, they had a turn up about them.
Yeah.
That was like, you know, I'm popping, I'm drinking, I'm smoking, I'm partying. There was something about them that was turn up.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard of JPEG associated with turn up. I mean, I'm sure it was there.
Yeah, I was around the people that were the turn up. I was around those people. You know what I'm saying? The Freezy Blows, the Zam, and all this other stuff, man. The turn up people I was around them. You know what I'm saying? I was like their homie because I fit in even though I wasn't the guy that did the turn up. You know what I'm saying? Even though I didn't do the turn up, I understood them.
Yeah.
I was able to identify and develop a sound for them. Even though I wasn't that guy, you know what I'm saying? I really wasn't. Sometimes I'd be out with him, man. I'm like, man, I'm ready to go home. See, I ain't even trying to be up in here right now.
That's it. And I feel like, okay, this might be a little long-winded. So
no, you're good.
My first thought is, in general, So I am older than most of my hip hop peers.
Sure.
So like when we look around at our peers in Pittsburgh hip hop, you know, like Authentic Lethal, I'm older.
Same.
You know, Animal, I'm older.
Yes.
When I look at a JPEG, my initial thought is he's probably around my age. But no, you're probably almost a generation older or close to.
Yeah, I'm up there.
It makes me wonder, did JPEG reach some level of maturity before us to where we are on the turn up and he's out of that phase? Like something has given JPEG an amount of energy to maintain this maturity and professionalism where he's able to navigate successfully where, you know, back in 2010s and 15s, we're bumping our heads, making mistakes, and JPEG is just walking straight like, nah, bro. Like,
trying to straight and narrow it.
Yeah.
It can't say that it didn't come and affect me in some way, shape, form, and fashion. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you know, we all were learning at that time. No matter, even if I was older or if my side wasn't the turn up side, you know what I'm saying? I'll be around these guys. Yeah. And sometimes the turn up would indirectly affect me too, you know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, yo, okay, I learned my lesson from that, but that's the most important thing is you learn the lesson from it. You know what I'm saying? Because people are like, man, I lost so much time, or I lost this, I lost that. And I'll be like, man, nah, really at the end of the day, you learned. If you really look at it, you can look at it like you lost something, but try looking at it like you learned something, and that's what I had to do.
And that's what I mean. So mature. Like I'm like that now. Back then, it would have been like,
oh man, I had many lessons. Like for example, like a lot of people don't know, like, but this right here down to here is a scar on my face. Well, that came from an abusive situation in a relationship. You know what I mean? At that time, right around that time. You know what I'm saying? And I was not putting myself in good positions. I just wasn't. I was making poor decisions. And I told myself at the end of the day, because people were like, man, damn, that's messed up. She messed your face up like that. I said, you know what, man, you can look at it that way, but at the same time, you can look at it like, man, your dumb ass hung around there a little bit too long because you knew better and you didn't do better. And the lesson for that was, whack, you know what I'm saying, buck 50 your face. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn a lot, you know what I'm saying? And those things taught me a lot, and that's how I moved a lot better in those times, because those early lessons at that time were teaching me that. And then it's just like, you know what? I got to be the opposite of the turn up, and I got to be the opposite of this, and this, that, and the third. And that's the way I created balance with those people, because even they thought twice about the turn up being around me. Like, you know what, man, you know, I think we're going to be around J-Pad when we're not trying to turn up. We're going to be around Pad when we're really trying to get some stuff done.
Where would you say is the source of the self-awareness to understand and see, to set a goal, to look at yourself and self-analyze and make adjustments like, this isn't where I want to be or what I want to do. So I'm going to make some shifts because this is where I want to be, or this is who I want to be. Like, what do you think is the source of that?
You know what? I think it's those, you know, a lot of people say it's moment of clarity. It's when everybody reaches that moment of clarity in their life, where the light bulb finally kicks on in a fashion where it's brighter than it normally is.
What do you think is the source for you specifically?
Oh, me, myself, you know what my wake-up call was when I learned how to master my reactions. When I learned how to master my reactions, because that was the thing that was stopping me from a lot of things, bruh. Like, I would react poorly to things. Not necessarily out of anger, but sometimes it'd be the sunken place thing, and oh, woe is me, and blah, 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 why me type thing. And I just learned how to react better I could stop being bitter.
Was there like a situation or
Yeah, I think I had enough at one point. Like, I was in Atlanta. When I first got to Atlanta, bro, this was about 2014, because that situation down on Carson was so rough on me that I almost kind of like felt like Pittsburgh kind of like turned his back on me a little bit, you know, with some of the people. And so I said, you know what, man, I got to do something. And all that, but I need to understand this business way more than I'm being taught here. So it was good reason for me to go down to Atlanta. And I said, you know what? I don't know if I want to live down here, but I do want to go down here, establish myself, and see what I can learn from it. But during that process, I hit a rough patch when I first got to Atlanta. And for those of y'all that aspire to go to Atlanta, I'm going to tell you right now, do not go down there without no solid plan. Because if you don't have a solid plan, I guarantee you it's going to swallow you up whole. You'll be on the Greyhound on the way back home. You know what I'm saying? Real rap. Yeah. It's not no joke down there. You got to have a plan. I had a plan. It just wasn't as solid as I needed it to be. And there was other dynamics, like the people I was going down there to stay with. I did not know them like I thought I knew them. You know what I mean? So I had hit a rough patch in Atlanta about maybe 6 months down there. Then I came across this, and the irony was the same people I was falling out with was the ones that turned me on to this movie. And it was called The Meta Secret. The Meta Secret by Mel Gill. If anybody ever get a chance to watch it, I would suggest you watch it. It's a great movie. It teaches you about the law of attraction. The law of attraction is what put me in the
I think
right.
I read that.
Yeah.
I don't know if the one I seen was The Meta Secret. I know it was The Secret.
The Secret.
That's
Yeah, I mean, that's what initially was
I read
called.
that book.
Yeah, because it was a series of people that were successful practicing the laws of attraction and how they applied it, like the guy that did the Chicken Soup for the Soul was in it. If y'all don't know about Bob Proctor, who was one of the greatest, philosophers and teachers when it came to the law of attraction, how to apply it to make yourself, successful in business and things of that nature. Yeah. And a bunch of other experts from around the world, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there watching this movie, which it only takes like an hour and a half of your time. At that time, I had all the time in the world, so I was just absorbing it. I was writing stuff down, laughing, because I was like, you know what? The law of attraction, all it does is reveal to us stuff that we already know. It's just things that we're not applying because we are allowing life to get at us a certain way instead of us getting at it, a certain way.
Yeah, I would say, to me, I interpret it as, first, I think religious people, Christians and stuff, probably look at it like, oh, it's woo-ha, mystical, whatever, secular.
I've heard that.
I look at it kind of like faith. Just believe whatever your goals are, like in your mind, you want that for yourself. Yeah, because you're going to do it.
To be honest with you, man, the law of attraction is nothing but following God's law. It's just being thankful and being grateful for what it is that you already have. It's about reaction. It's about like saying that, like I see a lot of people on social media, man, they crash out all the time. And you see it, and the subliminal is what's on your mind. Yeah. What's on your mind? It's sitting right there in the box, but it's so embezzled in people's DNA now that they don't even recognize that it's still, the subliminal is still there.
And it kind of intertwines with the whole, like, anxiety and frustrations, fears. Like, when all of those things are in your mind and you're not mentally free, like, that's kind of what makes you crash out.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And the control over those emotions. Right. Because really what it is, like I said, there's an old saying, you either let life control you or you control it. Well, it's about the same with the law of attraction. And from what I understand of it, it is, basically people allow in this society all the time, I see it happen all the time, people allow the outside world to control what's going on the inside of them. But what they need to do is reverse the game and start allowing the inside to control what's going on the outside. Because really, at the end of the day, outcomes are in our control a lot more than we've given ourselves credit for, in my opinion. Yeah, true. Because when I started to change the way I think, and that's really what it is. It's changing your thought process towards positivity, towards, saying, all right, as above, so below, as within, so without. Asking, believing, and receiving, because that's the system of the law of attraction. You have to ask for things, you have to believe in it, because that's going to make you put the work in, and then the receiving comes in. But see, I think where people stop, bro, is where the belief factor is. You know what I'm saying? Because people want things. They want things actually handed to them. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a problem asking for things. We don't have a problem receiving things. But we definitely have a problem believing that certain things belong to us.
Wait, so I'm a Leo. I got to go down this hole.
No problem.
I'm a Leo, right?
Yeah.
And I'm kind of into zodiac stuff. I've always had so much confidence in myself to where I believe I can do anything. It's a matter of time, possibly. Like if you say, hey, I bet you couldn't date Maya, the singer. I could. It might take, the rest of my lifetime, but if that was the goal, I'll figure it out.
You can find a way.
I'll show up at her performance or something, somebody to know her, like I'll figure it out.
That explains it right there.
And people don't like that about me. They feel like I'm either conceited or arrogant.
Okay, so they're mistaking your arrogance for the confidence, and that's the thing. It's such a thin line, you know what I'm saying, bro? Because a lot of people will look at you and you say something with confidence, and they'll automatically assume that it is arrogance. But I'm like, what kind of body English was he coming with when he said it?
Right.
Because the body English is the truth teller. Yeah. It's the truth teller out of everything. Anything can come out my mouth, but how my body English is going to tell the entire story. Right. The entire story. So go by that, you know what I'm saying? Because it is a thin line, and a lot of us really have communication issues. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing.
Communication starts these things, you know what I'm saying? And if you have effective communication, you're going to get past those walls and understand what's going on and say, all right, no, buddy's not, he's not arrogant. He really believes he can get Maya. You know what I'm saying? And why not? Why not? Because the person that did get Maya, that's what they said. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what they said. So why not? You know what I mean? But the problem is we have a communication problem, and it's effective communication. It's not just any type of communication, because even now you can even see with the younger generation, it's like it's like almost like they're talking in Braille. You know what I'm saying? Or talking in, what is that, shorthand. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like a new version of shorthand. Yeah. FR, for real. You know what I'm saying? LTR, later. You know what I'm saying? Those type of things. And it's just like the way that we're communicating is it needs a reset button. Yeah. That's the way I look at it. If we can get a reset button and learn how to effectively communicate, then your vibration is going to start going higher because you're communicating effectively. Yeah. And that comes with it. Clarity comes with it. You know what I'm saying? These things come with these principles, but I learned to apply it to my daily life, to my music, to everything. And it changed so many things for me, man. It's done so well. Manifesting, learning how to manifest your vision and turn it into reality. That was one of the greatest things that I learned through that principle and through that system.
How do we explain that concept of manifesting what you want to religious people?
Oh, man. Well, I think you don't explain it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because you know why I say don't explain it? Because that would be the expectation, it'd be to explain it, because that leaves room for people to say, all right, well, the Bible told me this. Why not this? But if I tell you that everything that I'm practicing is based off of the laws that are in the book, then what kind of conversation can we really have? What kind of explanation can I tell you? Because really it's the same thing. It's just you're saying, all right, you're spiritual, you're religious, and I'm saying I'm spiritual. You know what I'm saying? And there is a difference. You know what I'm saying? There is a difference, but it's all following along the same guideline, because the spiritual thing is religion.
Yeah.
And vice versa. You know what I mean?
I agree 100%. I think that ultimately, along the narrative of we are all humans living the same life, walking the same line, where I understand the concept of, you believe in that stuff over there, I believe in this stuff over here. But when you look at it from a higher perspective, like from a bird's eye view, we still have the same similar concepts. It's just the semantics. Like if you take the actual word that you're saying out, like let's assume there's no words or English and you just mumble, oh, I'm da-da-da, da-da-da, and you look at actual actions and mental concepts and stuff, we're literally doing the same thing.
Yes.
And like you said, one of the bigger problems that I see is communication, where like, I don't agree with you, hypothetically, I don't agree with you because you said manifest. And my Bible says God, and if I don't say the God, where God did it, then it's wrong. If you say, oh, it's not God, like you need to say God. Don't say universe, say God.
Say God, right.
And I'm not putting those people down. I'm not saying anything against them at all. I'm just saying, I dropped my pencil.
Okay.
I'm just saying that I believe that there is a bridge where we can all be united, have a similar understanding, communicate clearly with each other.
Clearly. Clarity is so big, bro. I can't stress that enough. Clarity is everything.
Yeah.
Because I think people communicate without clarity too much in this day and age. And it's not necessarily because that's their choice. It's because they actually do not know how to effectively communicate these things. You know what I'm saying? And that's why sometimes I will give people a pass, because I'm like, you know, again, going back to that body English and this, that, and the third. That also tells me when it's like a person is like, all right, man, you just don't know. I think you mean well by what you're saying. You just don't know how to effectively communicate it to the point where it's received right. And that's how things can go left, because people don't know how to tell people things and make them receive it right, or give them an opportunity to receive it right. It's because of the communication. It's because that's your habit. And I tell people that all the time. A big part of those things is habit. Like, your habits are practiced. And I say it to a lot, my people that watch, that talk to me all the time, they know I say this. Habits are practiced. Whether they're good habits or they're bad, they're practiced. And if you're practicing the same habits over and over again, they said it takes, 21 days to develop a habit? Well, if you've been doing it for 21 years, let's do the math. How difficult is it going to be for you to unlearn that habit if you've been like that for the last 21? You know what I mean? This is where our dilemma comes in. But it starts with us. And I feel like it starts with me. And I always wanted to be an example of somebody that people could say, you know what? He tried to do it the right way. And he tried to do this the right way.
That was even before the Secret book with the...
Yeah, I felt those things. Even before The Secret. It's just The Secret confirmed to me some stuff that I already knew about myself. But it also gave me permission to give myself permission to be myself, because it was time to quit everything else that wasn't me.
So that's what we can thank having this super mature, professional, and efficient JPAT for.
Yes. I've always sought knowledge, though, bro. I was a conscious dude, like, coming up.
That was going to be my next question. Like, did you read a lot growing up?
Oh, very much so. I mean, my earliest readings was like Maulana Karenga. You know, I was into African studies. Yeah. Real heavy, like in my late teens to early 20s. I was heavy into it, man. You know, I mean, even down to the music. I was all day, every day, BDP, X-Clan, Public Enemy, Tribe, you know what I'm saying? But almost everything conscious, even from the West Coast, Paris, you know what I'm saying? For those who remember Paris, you know what I'm saying? Even, just going all the way down the line, a super conscious dude. And so I've always been like that. So my principles, even back then, were like, we're about the people. We're about the upliftment of the people. We're about the upliftment of the culture, you know what I'm saying, of our people, be it hip hop, be it language, be it communication, be it whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? We're for the upliftment of it.
That's interesting. That's interesting that you're very knowledgeable, knowledge-seeking. Matter of fact, you text me that knowledge-seeking individual and appreciative of knowledge-seeking people.
Absolutely.
Very conscious guy.
There's a little contingency of us that we call ourselves the Jedi. And we do get together and we do have our little think tanks and we talk and we have our conversations, and they are about things that are dealing with high vibration. Dealing with, you know what I'm saying, things above this plane, you know what I'm saying, because people don't know about the astral, not the astro, but the astral plane and beyond, you know, fifth dimension, things of that nature, you know what I'm saying, knowing that there's dimensions to this life.
How do you define high vibration?
How do I define high vibration? High vibration to me is just waking up in the morning, being thankful and grateful for what you have, not for what you don't have, but for what you already got. Just being thankful and grateful for the people that are around you that are good, that are solid. Being thankful and grateful that you can put on a clean pair of clothes. You know, just the basics of what you're thankful for. And if you really believe in that grace and being thankful, you know, those things open up so many doors for you. And that's what high vibration is to me. You're vibrating on a frequency internally so high that it's coming from the inside out.
Right.
It's radiating now. It's to the point now where you're almost literally just walking around and the pets are coming up to you. The people are shaking your hand that normally wouldn't shake your hand, waving at you out of nowhere, and this, that, and the third. And it can be that way. Your world is what you make it. That's what high vibration is to me. Make your world what you want it to be. And the only way that you can make it that way is vibing high. If your vibration is on a higher frequency, there's nothing that's going to channel it away from positivity. That's just the principle as I know it. That's the principle as I know it. If you're turning your vibes up high vibes equal good time. You know what I'm saying? Good life. You know, good health. All of the things that we want to be good in our lives, high vibration that's what it is to me.
Okay, so based on that concept, like I know people that, so maybe I should explain this just for the audience because I'm 100% understanding what you're saying.
Yeah.
To put it in another term, I guess, it's kind of like glass half full. Always be positive, always be thankful, be appreciative, and lead with love. How do we get the people that are in survival mode, that are not leading with love, that are in some type of trauma or funk? Like, I have peers, I have friends.
Sure.
That when I try to lead with love, it's like, nah, man, like, you know what I mean? Like, kind of hate
because their
everything.
interpretation of love is not the same.
Right.
Nobody's interpretation of love is the same. It's one of the only words in the dictionary that has a definition.
Yeah.
But if you ask the average person what is love,
know.
their definition is totally different than either the one in the dictionary or yours.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
Yeah, because everybody's going to have a slightly different outlook on what that word means.
So how do you get, I don't know, I feel like I know this answer, but just to hear your answer, how do you get someone to, or lead them to vibrate higher?
Well, you have to genuinely be vibrating high yourself.
Okay.
That's the best way, because the best teacher is example. You know what I'm saying? You have to lead by example. There's no way I can influence you to be high vibes if you don't see it on me or you don't feel it on me. There's no way. There's no possible way. So lead by example. Yeah.
So would you say like the arguing, the pushback, going back and forth, and to me, I look at those as examples of not vibrating on a high frequency. So like, for example, let's say I have a friend that, I don't know, maybe they're being really mean or rude or something like that, or they say something that I don't like, and maybe they're doing something I don't like, hey man, why don't you talk nicer to your kids, or, you know, treat your mom or your baby mom with a little bit more respect, or, you know, trying to help them to be more positive. And if their response is like, nah, like, leave me alone, sometimes, whether it's me as an example or whoever else, people are like, what? Like, don't talk to me. And then it gets to be kind of like a feud. And it's like, no, I'm right. You need to listen to me. And it comes across as controlling more so than love. I'm just trying to help. You know what I mean?
The way I do it is I kind of like will bring it up to them and I'll put it out there. But it's important also to kind of like read their energy before you say something to them. because sometimes they're giving off that vibe already that it might not be a good time to tell you this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to wait for a cooler head to prevail for you to even see what I'm saying. Because if you're in this mode where you're already, your body English is showing anger and your voice is raised and this, that, and the third, or you're just in a negative space, you got a frown on your face, this, that, and the third, it might be hard to reach you with that. So I may be using discernment at that time and say, all right, you know what, maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll tell you tomorrow. Maybe I'll tell you tomorrow instead of today. But it's also another thing too, and you touched on this by me adding this, is that, you know what I'm saying, it's not about what we say, bro, and this is old cliche stuff, but it's not about what we say, it's how you go about saying it. It's not about what you do, it's how you go about doing it. You know what I'm saying? And so I think we all mean well, but like I said, I think most people mean well. Like you said, you have the conversation with the gentleman, they don't feel it, even though you're trying to tell them the right thing. And I think for some folks, bro, and it may not necessarily be one in particular thing, but their communication is so poor, bro, that they want to see people win. They just don't know how to tell them. They just don't know how to tell them the right way. You know what I'm saying? So then automatically it's going to be a negative response. Right. It's going to be, I'm going to shoo you back. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really like the way that you're telling me this. Right. Or my mindset is already on turn, so you're triggering me, and and that's another thing, because certain words will trigger people off. We have no idea that that's what's going on. Is certain words are trigger words. We know about these things. You know what I'm saying?
That I'm learning, which also is a really big trigger. Some people are really triggered by the wrong definition of words. Like if you I don't want to say misspeak, but like if you say something that by definition you're wrong, where you're trying to express something and maybe you just said the term wrong or whatever.
It's like taking a word out of context.
And people would jump down your throat, like,
whew, man,
flipping out. This internet, I found that my clips is like going crazy. I kind of found a recipe, which I'm trying not to make it clickbaity. Right. But if you say something like on purpose, it's almost like Pittsburgh's
like a keyword.
Not even specifically a keyword, but like a sentence. Like Pittsburgh's H, for example. Pittsburgh, we need our H at the end of the word. That is what differentiates us from all the other Pittsburghs, right?
That's right.
If I make a post and say, I love the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I spell it with a G without the H, it's going to go viral.
It's going to go viral.
Simply because
it doesn't have the right spelling.
And everybody will go nuts. Wow. Like compelled to share.
Amazing how the algorithm works, man.
It's nuts.
Amazing how the algorithm works. It's something else. And with social media, it's a fine line with that algorithm. Yeah. And that's why I was saying, that's why I was alluding to keywords, because people don't even realize they're getting put in Facebook jail off of certain keywords that are coming on their comment, their post, whatever the case. And they think it's just some regular normal stuff, or they might even think somebody human is putting a regulation on them. And they're not. I tell them, I said, look, that is the way the algorithm is set up in this platform, ma'am, sir. And they get confused and they're like, what is the algorithm? Oh, okay, no problem. Algorithm is basically a computer-generated program that's designed to behave a certain type of way or react a certain type of way when you behave a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? And I try to give them that layman breakdown to it. You know what I'm saying? So they understand. I'm like, look, it's basically how you're behaving on social media is going to tell your algorithm.
Yeah. I think one of the big problems I run into with that is some people believe that it's almost as if there's a person sitting behind a computer somewhere that's like pushing buttons, designating,
moderating.
Yeah, what happens to your page and stuff like that. And,
they put me in Facebook jail. Okay.
No, it's literally just.
There's no such thing as Facebook jail, but there is such a thing called a Facebook algorithm, and the way that they run their platforms.
There's a Facebook jail. They can block you from everything. Lock you out of your account.
Okay.
They for example,
I don't necessarily consider that jail, but then again, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, so when people lose a certain amount of access to their account, that's when they say Facebook jail. So for example, when I started my podcast, I would get on Facebook and I would start adding people.
Wow. Okay.
And just adding people at random.
Okay.
At some point in time, you would start to get messages, you can't add any more people.
Wow.
So,
okay. I've never seen that. That's the reason why I probably didn't know about that.
Yeah, there's those limits. There's like if somebody reports you, if you have too many posts where somebody reports you to Facebook, you've been flagged or whatever.
Yeah.
Then it'll say you have however many days break where you're not allowed to post, stuff like that.
Which is still, you know what I'm saying, that's their system. It's their system. It's how it's set up. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily designed for you to get ahead, but it's not designed for you to fall down the wayside. It's just that's kind of like how they have the whole entire thing set up.
Kinda, yeah. It's I think the easiest way to explain it is it's designed to mimic human behavior, where you can get ahead, but you can't cheat.
This is true.
So if I'm in a crowd of 1,000 people and I decide to perform, however, whether I'm rapping, dancing, whatever.
Yeah.
If I'm great and I'm charismatic and I'm just awesome at it and attention commanding, most of those 1,000 people, if not all, are going to pay attention to me and love it. It's the same exact thing online with the algorithm. If I start rapping and I suck and everybody's just like, what this dude doing, or don't nobody want to pay attention, then I'm screaming into the void, basically. And it's the same exact thing with a lot of people.
But I've seen the opposite too. I've seen people suck and go absolutely, completely.
Well, it's the same thing. It's like being infamous. So you can suck so bad or stand out so much simply because you're not more of the same. So for example, some macaroni, let's just say we're judging a food contest. We have 10 macaroni and cheeses.
Okay.
There's one macaroni and cheese that has red dye in it. It is completely all red, but it is the most delicious macaroni and cheese that you've ever had in your life. You're going to taste that and you are going to say, that is great, that is fantastic. It is going to be miles above everything else, right? There's another mac and cheese that is all black, but it's completely nasty. When you eat that, you're going to say, this is so different from everything else that I cannot confuse it. I'm always going to remember it.
Going to mention it.
And I'm going to talk about it.
I'm going to mention it.
I'm going to go to other people. I'm going to share a post, run up to people. Hey, do you want to taste this? Look at this. Yes, it's nasty, but I want you to experience
It's like
what
the
I
hot chip
experienced.
challenge.
Exactly.
Boom.
And that's
copy.
That's how you go viral. Is what I just learned within this past week. It has to be something that makes people want to share it with other people.
Boy, and they're clever because they know that that's what's going to make people want to watch.
Yeah, and keep people.
And they set the
page.
platform up perfectly for you to operate in that environment. Yeah. But you're right; it's the know-how and the intent that people have for being on. Because everybody's intent is not to monetize on social media. Yeah. But if your intent is to, that's great advice. I mean, that's great advice for anybody that's watching this. That's great advice. You should take that because
not even just monetize. Most people just want the attention.
Yeah. Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, I got an album that I just put out. It's an EP. It's called Social Threshold. And one of the themes was social media and the attention seeking.
That is another thing I wanted to get into. So J-Pad is also a rapper.
Yes.
And I've definitely caught some clips. I've heard some music. When I found out that you were also a rapper, I was blown away.
Oh, man.
And it was like, okay, Pat does everything literally.
Yep.
Were you always a rapper?
No, I was not always a rapper. I think in my early stages of hip hop, I'd say my early stages probably hit me right before middle school.
Okay.
So right at the end of grade school, going to middle school, that's when I really, really started locking in. You gotta remember this, the 80s. I'm old. So I'm in middle school in the 80s. So I'm a beatbox because I couldn't break dance. Couldn't break, but I was already playing instruments. You know what I'm saying? I picked up my first instrument in the 3rd grade. So I've been playing music and instruments until, pretty much since that part.
What'd you play in the 3rd grade?
Trombone, man. I still play it.
I played the trumpet.
Yeah,
Great.
I still play it, man. I still play it. I have my own trombone, and you will catch some tracks where it is on there. And so, you know what I'm saying? But I've acquired other things, too. In the recent years, I picked up bass. Of course, people know I know how to play the keys, you know what I'm saying? I'll literally try anything, but I'm percussion, brass, strings, you know what I'm saying? Mostly when I'm actually playing instruments. But yeah, at that time, that's what it was. But rapping started, I want to say rapping started my first year of college. That's when I started rapping.
Okay.
And I was just experimenting around with it, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing serious. I was still more focused on wanting to learn how to make beats at that time. Like I think 18 or 19, I bought my first sequencing keyboard. And that's when I was like, all right, now I'm a producer. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, because I started making beats then.
So for people that don't know, sequencing keyboard, see how I can define this. Basically a keyboard that records individual channels, but multiple channels that all play at the same time, different instruments on each channel.
Absolutely. Yeah. That makes sense. And not only that, but sequencing back then was a little different because if you had a portable keyboard that did sequencing, you didn't have the luxury of quantization. Yeah. For those who don't know what I mean by quantization, that means when your stuff stays magically on time every single time you do something, we didn't have that luxury. So at the time when I did have the sequencing keyboard, I used to have to play every bar of whatever it was I was playing, whether it was the melody, whether it was the bass line, outside of the drum machine, because the drum machine did help us. But outside of that, anything that you heard instrument-wise outside of the drums, we were playing manually from the very beginning to the very end of the sequence. Bro, with no quantization.
I believe I gave my keyboard to my younger sister, but mine, it was like a Casio or Concert Mate. It was like one of those you get from Radio Shack.
Sure.
Had these big orange pads. It had
the Concert Mate. I remember that.
5 or 6
realistic
orange pads. Yeah. You would
that was the one.
And each one was a sequence channel. There was no loop.
Nope.
There was no quantize.
Nope.
You would push one for your pad 1. Play the piano on it. Play it all the way through for the whole entire song. Push the next one. Select strings. Play it all the way through.
All the way.
So when I first started, I did not have a drum machine. So what I would do is I had a Gemini. I was just telling Akil this the other day. I had a Gemini 12-second sampler.
Oh, nice.
So I would play the drums on the keyboard into the sampler. So like
clever.
My homie would play it and I'd sample, or I would play drums onto a tape and record it. And then I'd take the tape, put it in a Walkman through my mixer.
Nice.
And I'd sample it.
Oh, that's slick. That's slick. I love it. Similar to what we did. Similar to what we did. The only difference what I did was we were using 4 tracks. You know what I'm saying? So I had a cassette. So here's how we had to do it. Craziest thing ever. Had the Gemini sampler. Okay. It just didn't sample 12 seconds. The one I had 3 2-second banks. And in order to get the sample the way you needed to, you had to be clever and tap the banks on time and get the sample in there. So when you tapped it, you know what I'm saying? That's how we used to do it, y'all. Like sampling there was no sequencing. We had to manually tap that sample into the tape on a track then fuse it in and bounce both of those, the beat with the keyboard and the drum machine on one track, your samples on the other track, you had to bounce those together to make them one. You know what I'm saying? But everything was manual at that time. No sequencing, nothing. I mean, no quantization, none whatsoever.
So you had
outside of the drums.
You had a luxury of,
Yes.
of a 4-track. I had a 4-track. Eventually, I got a 4-track.
Okay.
When I first started recording vocals, it was record through my mixer into this tape deck.
Yes.
Like over the beat that I
Yes.
made. Now, just imagine how bad the quality is.
Yeah.
That, you're playing the beat.
You know, I'm probably skipping a couple of things because we used to do it like in my beatbox days.
Yeah.
I had a Magnavox dual tape deck.
Yeah.
So it was similar. I don't know if it wasn't as, man, you were ahead of the game right then and there, because I would have never thought of that. But we did use tape that way before I had a 4-track, yeah. And my first 4-track, trust me, it was beat up. When I say beat up, it had no case to close it was beat on.
I want to say this was 97, 98 for me. Somewhere 96, somewhere around there.
Yeah, my 4-track I probably had, it was probably about 4 or 5 years before then. Cassette was still in, and I had a reel-to-reel, didn't know what I was doing with it. I had an Akai reel-to-reel, and then I had the Tascam Porta Studio. And that was how I would do my thing, and I would bounce back and forth.
Is that the one that had the 2-channel knobs and faders?
Yes.
For the studio? I think I had
the knobs and the faders. It did have the little EQs on them.
Yeah.
It had the little
for
EQs
2 channels
on them, but for 2 channels, right. For stereo, right?
I feel like I had the step above that.
Okay.
The Tascam 414 maybe?
414.
Yeah,
that was a step above.
Instead of knobs, it had the little like circle things that you had to turn, kind of like the MP buttons.
You know what though? Nope, you're right. That's what I had too. I had one of those as well. It had the embezzled little circle. Where you had to, yep, sure did.
Wow.
Yes, man. Memory lane, man. Boy, what a tedious chore it used to be back then. But I think those skills actually helped for this era and this generation. This is the reason why I'm probably still around doing it now, because that was such a tedious chore back then, but it taught me supreme timing on everything. And I learned that supreme timing. So when it got easier, when the PCs started taking over and I first got introduced into what was the first one that I used to manage, Acid Pro. So Acid Pro was the very first software that I learned how to do PC-based music production on. Once I realized how easy that was, bruh, everything, all my training from those days just clicked in, man. It just clicked in.
I'm one of those producers that was extremely reluctant. So I was always hardware based.
Yes.
So I had my MPC 2000. I had my ASRX Pro. What else? I had a little sequencer Yamaha QI70.
I remember the QI70.
I had a
for sequencing, boy, that was ahead of its time.
Beast.
That was ahead of its time.
I remember speaking to Nisha Beats, matter of fact, and he's like, "Oh, I'm making beats on Cakewalk," and I'm like, "That is weird."
Yeah.
Like,
boy, I was anti-computer when I first saw Cakewalk. I said, "No, this can't replace what we've." And I think it was just at that time I was just shell-shocked because I'd never seen nothing like that.
For me, it was, I want the feel of the machine in front of me, and I was in love with the MP. Like, the feel of the pads, and then, when you're, the whole workflow of finding your samples.
Oh, absolutely.
Even now, to this day, I went back, because I had sold mine at some point.
Okay.
I went back and bought an MPC 2000 XL, and this was after I bought my MPC Ren.
Oh, nice, the Renaissance. Okay.
And I want to say the first one I bought was my MPC Studio.
Nice, MPC Studio.
So I still use these, and just the feel of it is like,
oh, amazing.
It's unmatched.
Amazing. And I always was a guy that aspired, but coming from Erie, and this is another fun story. I mean, just coming from Erie itself, there was no infrastructure with music up there. So, I mean, if you had an MPC in Erie, to be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know too many people that actually had the machine itself. Our budgets were not like that, bro. We had Alesis SR16s. We had Yamaha PSR portable keyboards.
I think I had
and that was our
drum
sound
machine.
Gemini sampler. Yeah, portable Yamaha keyboard, MIDI'd into a Alesis SR16, and that was our drums.
That was my first drum machine, the SR16.
SR16. It wasn't my first one. I had a Yamaha RY30. It's a classic drum machine. Anybody that ever sees one, you know what I'm saying, you'll know what I'm talking about when you look at it. It was like about this big, about as big as an ASR. It was about as big as an ASR, and it was definitely like, it was more than a drum machine. It was a tone generator as well.
Ah, okay.
It was a
like
dual.
a QY.
It was like a QY because it was an RY. So I think there's something with that line of the RY, the QY. You know what I mean? They all were supposed to go hand in hand. So, but I did have an SR16, man. No, that's just how we did it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we had MIDI. We had real MIDI. Like this MIDI that y'all have in this day and age, I ain't gonna lie, it's a cheat code, man, because all the things that you used to have to do with MIDI channels and setting up channels and things of that nature just to get things to move together at the same exact time, tedious.
You got to go in and select Omni. And you got to go through the screens, but you only got 2 buttons and a knob to do it.
Tedious. Extra work.
Selecting different channels. And
so when the computers came in, I was like, oh, wow. But then I started really seeing the advantage of it when I first got an official copy of Acid. And I put it in the computer, and you know it used to have to run by a disk back then, y'all. The Windows programs used to have to have the disk in order to run the program. You know what I'm saying? So, but make a long story short, man, that's what got me started in that realm, and I didn't look back after that. You know what I'm saying? I was on the Acid platform for years, at least a decade.
Okay, shifting a little bit, we now know that JPad, the producer, we now know JPad, also the rapper.
Right.
At what point in time did you become the custom beat king?
Oh, man, that's a great question. I started calling myself that because I want to say the custom beat king started sticking as a profession when I started producing for Miss Toy. You know what I'm saying? Like at that time, I just felt like anybody could throw any idea at me. And this was right around 2014, 2015. Anybody could throw any idea at me and say, all right, Pad, look, man, I need you to get me something like this. I need you to give me something like this. Or I need you to give me an interpolation of, you know what I'm saying, of Stevie Wonder or this, that, and the third. And I was just like, you know what? I prided myself on, like, my success rate was high with that. Like, people would put a request in and say, look, I mean, I need you to custom make it to fit my record. And I was able to do it. And it was such a high success rate. And I said, you know what, man? People have a hard time identifying me as J-Pad, the Juggernaut, because they're like, man, I can't find you nowhere, J-Pad. So that's where Custom Beat King came in too as well, because it was easier for people to remember. It was like, man, just call me Custom Beat King. That's it. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so it was easy to name my website that. It's custombeatking.com. And, you know, it just stuck with me. I felt like I was just firing on all cylinders, man. That's even like because I wasn't Juggernaut at first either. You know what I'm saying? My first nickname was J-Pad the Bear. Bear, because Pad, a lot of people don't even know this, but my old school crew knows this. Pad is short for Paddington. Reason why Paddington came into play is because I was the bucket hat man. And I was one of the bucket hat men. You know what I'm saying? At my school, when in high school, you know what I'm saying? One of my favorite artists was EPMD. You know what I'm saying? EPMD was one of my favorites of all time. They were young cats like we were back then. And so I was just infatuated because everybody was wearing the, you know, LL hats, the Kangols, which I got those too. But my thing was, and being from Erie, and that's the reason why, you know, you see me with the fisherman. You see me with the fisherman, because people be like, damn, why you got the fisherman on? But this all used to be a code for me. You know what I'm saying? This was my hip hop style. So I would take the bucket hats, I would take the fisherman hats, because we used to like to go fishing now. We fish for real. But we also was trying to style. So me and my boy LB, shout out to LB, my boy LB still up in Erie. He got his own little business up there now. But when we was younger, we used to roll and hang, but we went to the Hatter store, bought every color of bucket hat you could think of. Every color. We bought them all because it was so cheap. Because dude was like, man, these are throwaways, man. We're not, you know what I'm saying? These aren't the real hats. They thought we was going to come in and buy the Kangos, man. We went right to the rack where it said $2 a hat and bought all the hats. I go to school the next day, flip my hat up in the front, so it kind of looked like Paddington's little hat. And that's what, man, they was like, oh, man, you look like Paddington. It was trying to joke on me, you know what I'm saying? It was a joke at first. Yeah. And, of course, you know, I'm just like, man, Paddington, man. I looked at Paddington. I was like, what? And then I thought about it. I was like, look, I need a clever producer name. So when I bought my first setup, man, I didn't know what to call myself, but I called myself Paddington. So I called myself, because everybody called me Paddington anyway. And my first school crew, the Lazy G guys, big shout out to Lazy G's up there, you know what I'm saying? That was my first school crew. Those guys was like, you know what, we're not calling you Paddington. Your name's J-Pad. Your name's J-Pad. So I was J-Pad since the early 90s. Juggernaut came way later. It was like mid-2000, early 2000, 2003, 2004 is when I started calling myself Juggernaut.
Where'd that come from?
Juggernaut, man, because that was another part of my evolution. I think at that time, I felt that I was firing on all cylinders. Like I was just steamrolling through. People was giving me tasks. I was doing video editing on the side. I was doing video editing for Gully TV. Big shout out to my man Millie up in Erie, Gully TV, man. He made a great success of himself out of that. And I'm super proud of him, you know what I'm saying? Because he kind of like came up under my tutelage with that video stuff and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? But the rest of the stuff that he does, I'm keeping it a buck with y'all. He knows how to do all that himself. He taught himself how to do that. So big shout out to Millie, you know what I'm saying? But I was firing on all cylinders, man. And I said, what is a word that can describe a person that's just kind of like unstoppable? Because I felt like I was unstoppable. And dude was just playing around. He said, well, you know, the Juggernaut and Marvel. I said, oh, Juggernaut. I said, damn, where'd that word come from? So at that time, the internet was finally here. Yeah. So I Googled it and come to find out it's a definition in the dictionary. And it means anything that crushes and destroys everything in the pathway. And I said, damn, let me adapt that moniker. You know what I'm saying? Because that'll give me the mindset that I need moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what I really called myself. It was a mindset thing for me. It was an evolution. It was a mindset. That's where Juggernaut came from.
That's dope. Wow. Yeah. Okay. I'm learning here.
Man.
I'm learning.
We didn't even talk about the DJing and the video.
I know, right? There's so much.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to think. Some of the main things I definitely want to cover, like the helping people to build their studios.
The Beat Intellect Academy.
Okay.
That's the official title for it. A lot of people wonder, like, what's your consultation business? I call it home studio consultant.
Okay.
I came up with this, man, I'm a dude, like, I came up with the mobile studio. I came up with this consultation business during the pandemic because all the studios was closed. And then I started looking around. All of a sudden, people started calling me and said, hey, Pad, I just ordered something on Amazon. I'm trying to set something up at home. Could you come set it up for me? And I was like, I said, no, I'm not really doing no work in the studio right now. So what can I do to offset my income? Oh, I got it. I'm going to develop a home studio consultation business. And so that's where the home studio consultations came in. Since the pandemic, Kalaj, I done probably put together about 30-something odd studios here in the city.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And people really gravitated to that. And I built a great network and intricate web of people. You know what I'm saying? And the nice thing about it is, bro, is I really am satisfied with the fact that the service empowers people. It empowers people to see something that they didn't see in themselves before. You know what I'm saying? And it just does my soul good because people will still call me to this day and say, here, Pat, check out what I just did. You know what I'm saying? Check out what I just did in the studio. Great feeling, great feeling. Gave somebody else an opportunity to create themselves like either an income or to give themselves an edge in their own musical career, because I really feel like every artist should have their own studio.
So are you hooking it up for them or teaching them how to do it?
Depending on what they really need me to do.
Okay.
Sometimes I do have to set it up for them because some people they're so new to it that they've never seen this stuff before, and they need that guidance. And I'll set that up for them, and then I'll show them a basic introductory on what it is that they got and how to run it.
I was going to say, I feel like explaining MIDI, how it works, the possible variation, like that theory in general is probably difficult.
Musical instrument digital interface.
Like if someone's...
we used to have to learn that, man.
Yikes.
Yo.
For someone that's not technically inclined, like have you come across people like that?
Yeah, and I had to learn how to do a crash course for dummies. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn how to sit in front of people and notice that they're novices or be for novices and hold their hand every step of the way. Where they get nervous, I say, oh, no, you can do this. You know what I'm saying? No, you can do this. And we go over easy techniques. I don't try to teach anything outside of the basics because most of the good habits for etiquette in the studio are the basics.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they say this, if you master the basics, then you develop sauce. Master the basics, develop your sauce after that. And so that's what I teach people. Right. I'm like, look, give yourself time because you have more time than you think now because you have the studio now.
Yeah.
Now you can sit here. You can just focus on being the best you in your own studio. And whatever makes you great, nobody can stop you from doing that now. Nobody can stop you from doing that now. So I give people the confidence and the know-how. And then when they're ready to go to next levels, they'll tell me, you know what I'm saying? Because the setup, and then for some folks, I will work the buddy system as well. So some folks, I kind of like leave them to themselves or teach them how to where they can outsource and go ahead and, send their music to whatever engineer they want to send it to, have them mix it and master it and this, that, and the third. And then others, I work the buddy system. So it's a wraparound, you know what I'm saying? Not only do I do the consultation for them, teach them how to record at home, but then they're like, all right, I just made my job easier to work with you. So I'll just send you the work that I did in the studio. You can finish it for me, and we work the buddy system like that. So that's exactly what it is. It's a buddy system. It's a teaching ground. We go over techniques. We go over music business, most definitely. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a thing that I also add with this consultation services is a Q&A session where I'm trying to define end games. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people get into this and have not did that yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you really trying to get out of this? And I think that most people that do this never ask themselves that question. They've never asked themselves, man, what do I really want to get out of this? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, you want to get signed, but then what? Or you get all this money from this music, then what? You know what I'm saying? What's the end game?
Yeah.
What is your end game? What are you really trying to get out of this? Oh, I want to develop a call center. Or I want to develop a trucking business. I want to develop this, that, and the third. But identify that because that'll help you map your route. That'll help you map your route to where you're trying to be successful.
Do you still do that? Like, do you still?
Yeah.
It's still a thing consistently?
Yeah. Some of these folks are weekly.
Like the same people?
Yeah.
What else? Like if I'm
like they got on my rotation. They said, "Man, I don't want to get off the rotation. I think that I just need you to stay around me and constantly teach me." And there's at least two guys that I know for a fact they're just on a regular rotation. One guy for sure, every week. I don't miss that one every week.
If I'm a client and you teach me how to hook up my equipment or whatever, what more of a service do I need 2 weeks from now?
No, you'd be surprised. Everybody doesn't have the retention.
Okay.
Everybody's retention is different. You know what I'm saying? And some of these folks, they need extra. They need a wraparound. They need like a strong wraparound. And it's personality based as well, bro. I noticed that. It is personality based. Some people, you know, if they have ADHD or if they have certain things going on psychologically, or if they don't, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, it's different palettes out there.
Yeah.
Certain people absorb the information differently. I'm teaching everybody the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's just certain people love the education so much that they want to retain it and keep it going. Like they're getting more than just education out of it. Obviously, they're building a camaraderie. It's all the things that you really want to do in a business, if I'm not mistaken.
And this is a just like a monthly service fee or
no, every time I show up.
How can, so audience members, like if there's somebody, Pittsburgh or wherever, that's like, oh, that sounds like a great service, something I need, you know, because I imagine there's some people out there that's like, I want to buy some equipment, but I don't know how to use it.
Right.
Like, how would they get in touch with you?
Oh, literally, man, you can catch me on all the social platforms, you know what I'm saying? But you can also go to my website. Go to my website, leave me a message, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, join the newsletter, you know what I'm saying? Just leave me a message, you know? Like,
I'll make sure I get your Instagram, too, for that episode.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
We'll see if
absolutely. You can just leave me a message on social media. I mean, I'm a person that's really, really open for that because I want to empower people with the knowledge if they want to learn.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that is a great, fantastic segue into what I mentioned earlier about everyone, and I literally mean everyone that I run into that knows of you. You are the first one they give credit to when they talk about their career, where they are, who they are right now. So just a couple names I could think of, Tsunami Fly. Troy.
Oh, Fly. Yeah, Fly.
Freya the Goddess.
Freya.
I know that's not it. It's all that's at the top of my head right now, but these are people that are like, at this point, established that, so like, for example, Troy, he's like, I don't know if you've seen his episode, but he's like, yo.
I did watch, I couldn't watch all of them in their entirety, but I did.
You seen a part of it?
I saw a part of it.
He was like, bro, he was talking to me, it's like, bro, you the first CD I listened to, but Pat, like J-Pad, showed me this, put me on to that. Freya, she came.
I always believed in those people.
Yeah.
I always believed in them. You know what I'm saying? Like Troy is one person he'll tell you. I told him years ago, I said, man, yeah, you're going to be something down the road, and Freya the same way, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, those people, I just know that they have something special to bring to the table, and I like feeding positivity because it obviously is a great thing because it brings results. Yeah, it brings results.
Is there something like a reason, or like I understand the positivity concept, right? But just something inside of you that says, I don't need anything for this. This is a person in need, and I'm going to give you this.
Oh yeah. I've done that many occasions. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, Brother Man's Manny. Manny Walker. You may not know of him. Brother Man's. He's a new up and coming artist, producer. He has a studio at the other one out in Turtle Creek.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So he's another guy that's I consider a younger person that I've mentored and things of that nature. And but he had a failing computer. He had a failing computer. I had a new Windows computer. I said, man, you're an instrumental piece to this puzzle. So I brought him my computer. But the funny thing is, and this is what goes back to the manifesting and things of that nature, every time I do something good like that, it's nothing to replace it. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me how it always finds its way back to me. So, it's just giving is part of this too. It's like sometimes I'll come to the consultation and they won't have everything, or they didn't get everything that they needed to get going that day. But instead of them, losing the wind out of their sails because they didn't get everything, if I notice something that they're missing and I had it, I'll just bring it to them. You know
like a mic cable, XLR,
mic cable, or
phone plug.
you know what I'm saying? Or if you're missing a microphone and I have an extra one, I'll give you one. If I have an extra computer laying around and you need something to get yourself started, Why not? Because, I mean, the way I look at it, man, the only way we can move this stuff forward is we got to be givers. We got to be able to give sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And give selflessly, because the way I look at it, man, this stuff can be replaced. You know what I'm saying? The things that I give people, they can be replaced, you know what I'm saying? But those people's vibe at that moment in time, their inspiration can't be replaced.
Right.
So sometimes you got to come through, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've set people up with studios before, you know, some artists, and did it without, you know, expecting anything in return. Sometimes you just got to do stuff without expecting things in return, man. It's just the way that the world is supposed to go. Sometimes you just got to do it. I mean, yeah, I make money doing it, but at the same time, it's also an opportunity for me to give back, because this has been good to me, man. You know, no matter what, I may have not made millions and millions of dollars, but it's been very good to me, man. It's been very good to me, and for me to just sit there and act like I can't give something back, it's just not me. It would never would have been me. I just got that kind of personality, man. I've always been a giver.
That's dope. That I align with that. That resonates with me mostly. A lot of people don't know this about me. I explained Kalaj already. I didn't on the podcast. I didn't explain where I got the name Dame from. So Dame is short for Damien.
Oh, okay.
When I first started, my name was Kalaj Damian. And there's two meanings behind it. The first is it was kind of like a-hole type vibe.
Oh, okay.
Where it was like kind of like the best of the worst type deal. And then that shifted to the story of Saint Damien of Greece, which was a Christian that was a martyr.
Yeah.
He was killed, basically martyred, because he healed people for free. And ever since then, like, that's been me. And it fit a lot better. Like, to the point, my peers and some of my family, like, they get mad at me just for the simple fact that I give for free.
Why did you do that?
Even people don't like
I get
it.
that all the time. Yeah, I wouldn't have gave that away. I wouldn't have gave them that. I'm like, well, that's because that's you.
Yeah.
That's because that's you. And maybe if you had a little bit of a giving spirit, some things might change around for you in your life. You know what I mean? Because I believe in karma. Like, there's good karma, there's bad karma. You know what I mean? You can develop either or for yourself.
I remember this one summer, I had about 4 air conditioners in my basement.
Yeah.
I posted online, yo, who need an air conditioner? And I think it was like $10, $20 and it may be free or whatever. Yeah. Man, people in my family hit me up so quick. What you doing giving that away? Why don't you get that to me? You didn't check to see if your family needed this and that.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Oh, man. It be like that, man. Sometimes people be like, man, you should give that to me. You should have gave that to me. But you know what, man? When you give selflessly and don't expect anything in return, and just to see that it can make a difference and an impact positively in people's lives, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I get that.
That's what it's all about.
So what
we got to start championing our people. Like, we got to start giving them the confidence to champion themselves. Yeah. And the way that you do that is you empower them with stuff. You know what I mean?
The energy I get from you so far is very much Sensei.
Yeah, there's people that call me that. It's funny. There's a couple of people out here that call me Sensei. It's like, yo, man, it's weird because it's like I'm still a laid back, passive dude. So it's like, Sensei, I don't know, man, this, that, and the third. But then again, sometimes I've learned to embrace it in certain ways. You know what I mean? Because I am looked at as a focal point for some people, and I'm thankful for it. You know what I mean? I'm thankful for it. But at the same time, hey, man, let's all keep learning, because I could be the sensei, but I'm the student as well, because the best senseis are the students.
I was literally about to say that's what makes you
a student in the game.
Sensei. Well, my thing is, when you become the piece on the board that has acquired so much wisdom to where you are now in a position to give based on your experiences and what you've learned, what you've acquired. Yeah. And you're spiritual, which means you feel, you think, you love, you appreciate, you give. Like all of these things are like your reactions and responses in situations.
Yes.
Where it's like there's a lesson in everything. You're patient. Slow down, grasshopper. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's sensitive.
You gotta learn how to walk. Yeah.
That's the sense.
Gotta learn how to walk. There's time to run, there's time to walk. I tell people, man, sometimes you gotta walk and see everything.
I'm gonna name this podcast Sensei Paddington.
That works for me. That works for me, bro. That works for me, man. Like that's all a big part of it. And like I said, I've always believed that my music was more than just music. You know what I'm saying? It's a ministry, man. It's like low key a ministry. I'm not gonna say we're in a ministry of whatever, but it feels like one because it's about changing people's mindset. And once I learned how to change my mindset, I didn't want people to be in the dark about having the ability to change for the better. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's a thing that really, I'm glad that I was able to start that business because it showed me that we all can still get along in a certain capacity and really build something from nothing. You know what I mean? Like if you have the right mindset. If you have the right mindset.
Segue a little bit.
Okay.
I wanted to get into, before we come close up on wrapping up, I wanted to dig into your talk show.
Okay.
Is that the Beat Talk?
You talking about Beat Talk? Yeah. When I had the Beat Talk thing going. Yeah. It's not going right now, but it was something that introduced me into the world of podcasting.
So I want to start there.
Yeah.
Initially. So what was that? How'd that work?
I think it was good for the time when I was able to do it. It was something new for me. But like I said, once again, when we were talking earlier, I came up with Beat Talk because of 60 Minutes. You know what I'm saying? And how Ed Bradley used to do his segments on 60 Minutes. They were more like, you know what, just like this situation here where we're just having a conversation like family, you know what I mean? There's people in my rotation and in my network that are like family, you know, and I feel like we need to get back to telling their story, you know, and the best way to tell their story to me is not really just go by a super scripted format, but it was very organic and loose-based, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how Ed Bradley made you feel when he was interviewing people. It didn't feel like he was interviewing them. It felt like he was just having a good old conversation with people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I kind of like prided Beat Talk on that. So Beat Talk was just about, you know, where people were from, how they came up, how they grew up, how they became who they were, and most importantly, how do beats relate to life? You know what I'm saying? Like there's a correlation between beats and life. Like, you know, a certain beat or a certain rhythm of a beat makes you feel a certain kind of way. You know, what is it about beats that drives you? You know, it doesn't matter if you're a chef. It doesn't matter if you're a garbage man. You know what I'm saying? What is it about the beat that drives you? And I always found that to be an interesting part of the show. You know what I'm saying? Because people would give me some interesting answers when it came to that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was your initial, I guess.
Yeah. That was kind of like me getting involved and getting into it. Yeah, just getting into the routine of just doing that as well as doing other things as well. And I would just, you know, go around wherever people were. And instead of being a mobile studio, this time it was Beat Talk. Yeah.
So now you have a show, or you're a part of a show?
Oh, several. Yeah, several shows. Okay. Actually, I started things off last year. I said, you know, these are the seasons of evolution for me. So the first thing that I did was I got together with a couple of guys in my network and LB's like my childhood friend. You know what I'm saying? Like me and LB been cool since the 3rd grade. We're well into our mid-50s now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I had one of my best friends in life, one of my guys from New York, and another guy from my hometown who lives in Houston come together, and we did a show last year called the AM Kings. Okay. AM Kings did pretty well, man. It got to the point where I actually started to monetize off of the show. You know what I'm saying? But that was my first time moderating. You know what I'm saying? So I got a chance to really moderate a show for a year. And then the nice thing that happened with that was everybody that was on the show, my boy that lives in Houston has his own multimedia conglomerate. That's my boy Podgy. Shout out to Podge and LFX Media. So lfxmedia.live if y'all want to check it out. That's his site, and they have a radio station. They have a radio show. Really dope stuff. The other two guys, my boy LB and C. Shout out C. C's up in Connecticut, but he's from Yonkers. He's from not Yonkers, but I think he's from he's from the Bronx. Sorry about that. C and LB are on a show in the Midwest now because the network has expanded. You know what I'm saying? And people that used to watch us, some of those guys took those guys and put them on their show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now they're on a show called Blunt Conversations, and that broadcasts from Michigan. Which is cool, you know what I'm saying? And me, myself, I just evolved from that. You know, like Tuesdays now, I do a live broadcast from London, England on blackcultureradio.com. Big shout out to Mac One and Andrew.
You do a show from London, England?
Yes, it broadcasts on London radio, yes. Yes, indeed.
Not like you're in London.
No,
every
I'm not
Tuesday.
in London, man. Boy, I wish my flyer miles was like that, because if it was, yeah, that would be great. But no, every Tuesday, man, we're on their server, and we broadcast live on their radio station.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah, from 12 to 2 here in the States, and that's 5 to 7 over there, which is prime time.
How does that work? Do they pay, like, is there a license or something, or?
They have their own licenses over there. I'm still learning it, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is so new to me. It's called Open Format. Okay. I do it with my boy DJ Holland. Big shout out to DJ Holland. He's from Chicago, but he actually is a resident DJ at Acrisure.
Okay.
During the season.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I think, as a matter of fact, any of y'all that go to the Steelers Stadium, the DJ playing at the Ford F-150, that's DJ Holland. You know what I mean? So shout out DJ Holland. And he's been talking to me about this show for a minute, but I think he finally got it in gear, and we finally got the chance to set up a podcast at his place, and now we haven't looked back. We're on month number 2 now, I think. Month number 2, Open Format, man.
How you like it so far?
So far, it's great. One thing I noticed is that the people overseas value radio way differently than they do here in the States. They absolutely do appreciate it more. You know what I'm saying? And we're building an international community. I do plan to have people on the show. I would love to have you on the show, man, and definitely have you come on the show. In addition to that, you know, working with Miss Toy once again, she does a show every Wednesday and Thursday night. It's called The Lovely Radio Show. Yeah. Big shout out to Miss Toy, Goons, K-Wise, Ben Frank. You already know. Shout out to the West Coast fam over there. They're broadcasting live from Vegas every Wednesday and Thursday night. It's called The Lovely Radio Show. It's been great. Of course, you know, Miss Toy being, royalty over there on the West Coast with hip hop. We've had some great guests. You know, Corrupt has been on the show. Razcast has been on the show.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. We've had some pretty decent guests on the show, man. And the nice thing is on the show we do a thing called Spin the Block. And what Spin the Block means is either myself or K-Wise will play some tracks. You know what I'm saying? And we have kind of like a free reign on what we can play. You know what I mean? And most of the time it's just beats. So we're just playing beats, entertaining the crowd. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. Lovely radio show.
Wow, that is really something. Okay, one of the big reasons I wanted to talk to you about this, just simply because I like to see if people can relate to my issues, or like see what their issues are. Maybe I can learn from it. What would you say is your biggest challenge in having these shows, like these talk shows?
You know what? Just learning to stay a professional when things aren't going right.
How so?
It depends. You know what I'm saying? If people are going at each other on the show, or if we're having technical issues, or, you know, it could be just, you know, for some odd reason that day, your computer doesn't want to work right, or somebody's having an attitude with somebody else, and trust me, on these shows, man, it happens. You know, people come and they go. You know, there's been several people on the Lovely Radio Show that was on there, and they're not on there no more. You know what I mean? Because things tend to happen. That's the tough part. is because like sometimes you'll build a relationship with those people and not knowing that they're not going to be there for the long haul. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it may not necessarily be your call, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You got to ride the wave. You know what I mean? So it happens.
I think I don't know. Somehow I ended with this. Like I said, I started a podcast before. And that was with a larger group of people. Mm-hmm. So I experienced that, you know, people fighting, arguing, people. Oh,
I've been on podcasts where people was really going at it.
Yeah. Matter of fact, it was either the last one or one of the last ones where we were a whole group and like two girls were like in each other's face, like about to,
ready
like,
to get to it.
Throw the fist. And everybody is like my homie. Like I'm the centerpiece that brought everybody together.
Yeah.
And I kind of made this promise to everybody, like, you know, we're going to do it. This is our thing. But it was really difficult to keep it together because I was the one, like, putting up all the money, all the equipment. I'm like, yeah, we got to beat her at this time. But, you know, this person can't beat her because of this. And this person got this issue. And this person need gas money. And you know what I mean?
Sure.
When it's like, in order for this to work the way the vision is, we need everyone.
Yes.
But, you know, this guy can't beat her and this girl can't beat her. Now, how do I explain to the other people, like...
It's tough.
After a while...
It's tough.
It was kind of like, I want to bring everyone with me, but maybe it makes more sense for me to go and get it the way I know I should get it. Yeah.
And the people will come along afterwards, because sometimes you have to get to that space where you take the lead and say, you know what, I got to do this my way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I do a little show on the side of my own.
Yeah.
I do the custom beat show, which is where I teach people online. I'm just, you know, online going over techniques, with the MPC. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I was always like an MPC fan. I always was an MPC fan.
I'm so glad you brought it up.
Because we used to sample. You know what I'm saying? We did. Even when we couldn't afford the MPC, we had the Gemini. We made it do. We made it do what we could until I could afford a sampling drum machine. Which I think my first sampling drum machine was a Zoom sample track. It was like a very budgeted MPC type device. You know what I'm saying? Like we were taking stuff from MTV's music generator, sampling the whole entire library in it on the SD card, and going in and doing what we do. But you know, those things, you know, it all comes full circle, bro. That's the way I look at it.
There was a video I seen that you were, I'm not sure if you were making or you were planning to beat on MPC Live, was it?
Might have been an MPC Live or an MPC Key 37, or I have a Keys 37 now. That's what I have.
Did you used to have a Live?
I did. I did have a Live at one point in time.
I'm pretty sure it was a Live.
Okay.
Because I remember.
Either a Live or a studio. I had a Live, I had a studio.
No, it was a Live.
I've had a couple of different
It was
MPCs.
one that had the MPC software built in.
Nice. So it's got to be either the Live. I had an MPC 1. I've had several MPCs.
Could have been a 1.
Yeah, if it was the red one, I had an MPC 1, yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember.
If it wasn't red and was black, it was my Live. It was the Live.
So it could have been a Live. So I remember you had posted a beat on it, and I was saying something like, I didn't like that because it had the software, and you was like, oh, I like it. It works for me.
Yeah.
But
I remember that.
You remember that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
My whole concept was basically what I had explained already about the software.
Being a hardware guy. Mm-hmm.
So my Ren uses the MPC software. After I watched your video, I had the chance to play around with my Ren. The only difference between the Ren and like the MPC Live is it doesn't have the software inside of it.
It's not built in, right?
Right, but as long as it's connected to a computer, you can control it as if it's inside of it with the knob.
Absolutely.
And the screen and stuff.
Yes, it's tactical like that.
Yeah, where I don't need it to be portable.
Right.
And it's always connected to my computer.
Right.
So it's kind of like, there's really not much reason for me to have a Live if I already have it. I was thinking about upgrading to an X.
No, because I had a Live, and it wasn't the MPC for me. It wasn't. It took me a few MPCs to find the right one, and I think I have it now.
You found it?
Yeah, the Key 37 it's the best of both worlds for me. I play the keys. I love the MPC.
Does it have those
I love
smaller
where they've
keys?
taken the workflow of MPC. I'm not gonna lie to you.
See, I don't like keys that are not full size.
They are full size. The
They
ones
are?
that I have are full size. Correct.
There you go.
They're action. They're not weighted, but they're action keys, which is nice.
Maybe what I was thinking about was the mini.
Man, you know what, man? I used to champion that thing too,
like
man.
it?
I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I've had several editions of the MPK Mini. Yes.
When I went to Guitar Center.
And you know me, I like being on the go.
Yeah.
So having one of those things and using it with the MPC software, I got down with it real quick.
And that, like, to me, the theory of that makes complete sense. Like,
Sure.
I wish I could.
Yeah.
I went in the Guitar Center and I seen it was a Kai MP something mini.
MPK Mini, yeah.
MPK Mini, and I seen the Alesis. I forgot what it is.
The V49 or something like
yeah,
that. Mhm.
and it's small, but all the
Because I
keys
know
are
Guitar
full
Center,
size.
they be having that. Okay.
I ended up buying the Alesis.
V25. You probably got the V25.
V25.
Yes.
About this big.
Yep.
I bought it because the keys are full size.
They are full size.
And yes, it's small. It's maybe like an octave and a half. But
That's
the
all right. I don't blame you. I had to leave the MPK Mini alone.
Yeah.
The keys are too small.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My fingers are too fat. There's no way.
Weird, right?
Yeah, it wasn't no way. It was great when I needed to make something on the go. You know what I'm saying? But even then, it was still challenging because I'm trying to play chords. I'm trying to do this, that, and the third. Until I learned that the pads can play the chords. Once I realized that the pads can play the chords, I was like, oh, well, shoot, I was tripping the whole time. I didn't even need to use the keys. All I had to use was the pads. I was tripping. I just didn't know how to use it in the software, but I'm pretty handy with it now. Pretty handy with it now. And the reason why I love the software, Kay, is because it really just, because I used to hate that little screen. Because I did have a 2000. I eventually ended up getting a 2000 like around 2010. It took a long time for me to get one.
XL or just 2000?
It was a 2000 XL. It was.
Okay.
It was an XL. It just didn't have all the bells and the whistles.
I feel like 2010 to get an XL, if you weren't an original XL user, it was probably not enough.
No.
Like, it's
It
weird.
wasn't modified enough.
Yeah.
It didn't have the expansions. It didn't have.
Okay.
No, it just had the floppy.
Yeah.
It didn't really have the expansions. It didn't have the
Only sample for
didn't have the drive
like 20
on it.
seconds.
Yeah, it didn't have the drive on it. Yeah, it wore off on me fast. I got rid of it quick, but that's because I ended up getting an MPC Touch. Yeah, somebody ended up giving me an MPC Touch.
Maybe it was the Touch that I seen you with.
You might have seen me with the Touch. You might have, because they're very similar. They look similar to the MPC Live.
Yeah.
They do.
Okay, so by now everyone understands that J-Pad is this like Sensei that it is very centralized, you know, like inward focusing, self-awareness, at peace, like master of his craft with music and everything, and then has these ventures going on. In addition to that, to everything we just named, you're also a DJ.
I also DJ. Yes, I do. I DJ. My favorite thing to do is the throwbacks. I'm a throwback specialist, or breaking music, which is something that I pride myself on doing, which was tough when I was DJing around here, because I used to get a little bit of flack from some of the club owners. Pad, you're playing too much Pittsburgh music. Pad, you're playing too much. And now the funny thing is, you look at Stevie and them now. They got a night where that's all they're doing is playing Pittsburgh music. But I used to take the blunt end of the blame for it, because I was one of the guys. And the reason why I jumped into DJing is because I was like, you know what, this is an instant opportunity for me to take stuff that I was doing in the studio and play it in front of these people. I don't have to tell them that it is, you know what I'm saying? But then some of the folks would, they would cheat, go back to the owner and say, he's playing, it's all Pittsburgh music that he's playing. And so, it was kind of like feeling the pressure. Oh, I don't want to hear that all night. Man, the people was jamming. They didn't even know it was us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was the clever thing. I wouldn't tell nobody it was the people from Pittsburgh.
So that's kind of what I wanted to dig into. Kind of like a next to the last question, which would be your goals. Like, what is all of this for? Like, does JPad want to be rich and famous, or you just kind of want to be this guy that's like...
You know what? I think that if anything like that comes my way, I wouldn't turn it down. I think it'd be nice if it happened now, because I'm at the stage in my life now where I do have a balance. I do have a way more balance in my life than I ever had. My reaction to things and the way that I'm carrying myself, and knowing that, the principle, be better, not bitter. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those things, that'll be great. But my goal at this point is just to give back as much as I can, to keep improving. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still a student of the game. I feel like I'm still evolving as a musician, as a I want to get better at playing bass. I want to get better at still at the trombone, still at whatever. You know what I'm saying? I want to get better at things. I feel like that's definitely a chapter. This is the chapter of my career where I am pushing to be better at all of those things. And people are like, man, you're 54, Jay. You rapping now. Why are you rapping now? Why wasn't you rapping at 25? And I said, well, you know what? It took that long for me to earn my own permission to say, you know what? I need to take some of that energy and sink it into myself for the one time, one good time. And I feel great. I feel like a new person in this, and I'm reinventing myself all the time. Those are my goals: is to consistently reinvent myself. Always be a student of the game, give back when I can, and if some major blessing happens out of all that, great.
You know what? I almost want to not quote, but paraphrase something that a few people told me, but primarily I'm thinking of Farouk when he said that hip hop. Was it Farouk that said this? I can't even remember. Somebody said.
It's all good.
Maybe it was Farouk. We are the...
He had a lot to say.
We are the generation that grew with hip-hop.
Yes.
Like, we are literally the first generation to be of hip-hop.
Yes.
That didn't create it originally.
From the first school.
That we grew up with it. So, for our whole entire lives, we dressed it, we talked it. As it went through its phases, we matched that and went through those phases with it.
That's right.
Through the late 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, all the way up to now, where the idea of someone telling us you're too old to rap, turn your hat straight forward, why are you still wearing Jordans? Like, all of these things is like, this is our culture. We are the generation, like, we own this. This is us.
Oh, yeah.
We're 50, 60, 70, like, as we grow and get older with it, we are 100% allowed to do it.
We're the pioneers of the culture. We're the pioneers of the expression of the culture.
Exactly.
We're the pioneers of the language, everything. And so it is sad, because it seems like it's only us that gets this stigma that you get too old. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But nobody's telling the Rolling Stones that. And nobody's telling Van Halen that. Nobody's telling, these other genres of music that. It just seems like it's us, and that's really, really a dynamic that really bothers me, because it's like the nerve of y'all to say that it's us that has a timetable on what it is that we're doing, when the way that our DNA is set up, there is no such thing as a timetable. Yeah. I mean, I know cats to this day keep hitting me up and say, getting that bug. They think they're done, and they get that bug again. Mm-hmm. But they're like subconscious with it, because they're like, man, it's a young man's sport pad. I don't know. I said, who? Says who? I mean, and you got to look at the author who said that in order to understand exactly what it is that I'm saying when I'm asking you, says who? You know what I'm saying? Because really, at the end of the day, that's what I had to tell myself, says who?
And on top of that, I think that when we say young man sport, like, we're thinking damaging. like, I can't do something that the youngins are doing because I'm too old, because I don't want to damage myself. So, like, playing football.
Right.
I'm not going to go out there and play tackle football.
No.
I may not be able to run too much because of my knees.
Right.
I don't want to do anything that's negative that's going to hurt the community or be bad negative for kids or something like that.
Right.
But when it's healthy, when it's giving back, when it's an art form, when it's entertainment, possibly making money, feed my family, like, there's so many different positive ways of doing it that's like, this is not the definition of a young man's game.
No, it's not. It's
or
not
how you define it.
It's not, and that's the facade. That's the myth that was told to us.
Exactly.
It was and it is a myth, ladies and gentlemen. It's never too late. I mean, Miss Toy is 53 years old. I'm 54 years old. Yeah. We're still out here doing what we're doing, shooting videos, rapping, whatever it is that we want to do, because we can. There is no timetable on this. You should do this as long as you see fit. The only time you should stop is when you say that it stops, not when everybody else is telling you that it needs to stop. It only stops really when you say it does.
Last question for you, and I kind of feel like you answered it already in the question before this one, but still, just to dive in and get your perspective.
Yeah.
Are you successful?
Yes. Yes. I'm successful because of the fact that I can wake up every day and say I'm thankful and grateful for whatever it is that I need to be thankful and grateful for. And that's what makes you successful.
A true Sensei answer.
Buddha's name be praised.
I can't even push back on that. That is, I agree 100%, man. I've always had an ego in my career where I felt like I would ignore anyone that I did not see as a peer. So in order for me to see you as a peer, you had to be able to do something or show an example of something that would be difficult for me to repeat. So if I look at what you do, what you've accomplished, or what your skill is, and I say, I can do that easy, then immediately in my mind, you were like a son to me. But if I look at you and I say, he's walking in a way throughout his career that I don't really know how to navigate, or he's making beats with a style and flavor that I'm not sure that I could repeat or duplicate, I feel like that's more of like my equal or someone that I look up to. And I've always seen you as a peer.
Thank you.
And even at moments, almost like, damn, like looking up to you, like Pat is on some, I can't necessarily do that. But absolutely, definitely someone that I was inspired by and still am to this day. And
thank you.
Please, brother, keep it up.
I will.
Keep helping.
I will keep doing that, man.
And just the idea, I'm sure you're aware of it just from our conversation, but just the idea of me learning about your positive effect on people while you're at home doing what you do, sleep, not even thinking about it. Word about you is traveling through walls in rooms that you have no idea about.
I'm just thankful and grateful for it, man. Like I said, man, it's just it's a blessing to get up and be able to do this every single day.
Yeah.
And I'll never take that for granted. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I know some people that got it so much worse. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm not saying it necessarily is something that couldn't happen to me or this, that, and the third, but I think that just by approaching things the way that I approach them, man, that's what keeps it in the light that it needs to stay in. And staying in the light is what it's all about.
That's it right there. I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, bro. 110.
Man.
My guy. About time.
Definitely. Man.
A lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. And I remember you from back then, man.
Hey, you know what it is? It's a play cousin right here. J-Pad the Juggernaut. I'm Kalaj Dame. I'll see you next week.
Welcome to Kalaj Dame. talking, but they never take the time. Truth in my chest, I don't sugarcoat pain. If you sitting at the table, you gotta show your face. Conversations deeper than the surface, we've been shown. Ain't here to sell a dream, just to show you what I know. Every voice matters, every story got a way. If you living it for real, you gon' feel this pain. No scripts, no frames, just heart and time. If you listen close, you might change your mind. We don't argue just to win debates. We just shine a light where they hide the grave. It's the Kalaj Dame podcast, where the real don't gotta broadcast. Every truth gotta pass, every voice got a lane. It's the Kalaj Dame podcast. Pull a seat, let the walls crack. If you ever felt unseen, you gon' feel your name. Yeah. From the block to the boardroom, same questions asked. Why we build so fast, we never heal the past. I don't play judge, I don't play your role. I just let you talk while the story unfold. Bridging gaps, they pretend they there. Men and women trying to meet halfway, no filter. But respect stay intact. If it hit too close, that's a personal